your voice tonight and declare, you are God alone. From before time began. You're on your throne. You are on your throne. You are God alone. You are God alone. And right now, in the good times and bad, you are on your throne. You are God alone. Can the people of God who love Him give Him praise for them tonight?
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation. The Citi Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
God can contend. You're the only God whose name and praise will never end. You're the only God who's worthy of everything they can win. You are God, and that's just the way it is. Come on, somebody help me declare. You are God alone. Before time began, you are on your throne. You are God alone. You are God alone. And right now, in the good times and bad, you are on your throne. You are God alone. You are God alone. You're unchangeable, unshakable, unstoppable. That's who you are.
6:34. It's the 5th day of November 2024. This is Citi FM. The Citi Breakfast Show is live and airborne. Thank you for staying with us.
That's who you are.
Starting off with a beautiful song. We have so many things to do today. Busy day for Ghanaians, busy day for Americans, busy day for the world. US goes to the polls. Will it be Kamala Harris? Will it be Donald John Trump? Keeping an eye on that for you this morning. Indeed, throughout the week, we have correspondence with the Voice of America. They'll be bringing us reports on that very important election. Believe, believe, believe. That's the word for today, believe. It says faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. But I like the word believe. Faith is like a noun, but I believe is an action. So it's an active word, and it's not just once, you know. You must keep believing to keep achieving. Yes, you believe that this is going to be a great year. You believe that this company is going to work. You believe that this marriage will work. But don't just believe it on the day of the wedding. Believe throughout. Don't just believe on the day that the foundation was laid, or just the time that the program started. Believe through to the end. You must keep believing to keep doing. It's an active word. It says, for God so loved the world that He gave us His only begotten Son, that he who keeps on believing, you must not just believe once. It's a continuous word, continuous verb.
Do you believe that tonight?
So today is the 5th belief, and your belief determines your actions.
Can we make a
A
declaration
lot of things you're doing is because you don't believe.
tonight?
What you do is actually what you believe. And of course, if you believe the impossible, you will definitely get the energy to do it. Business Sense is brought to you by ADB, the People's Bank. Reach us on 0302-210-210. Let's talk about a better deal for you by way of a loan facility. Newspaper reviews brought to you by Piva Beverages. If you're craving for something exotic, the Piva Exotic Cocktail Fruit Drink brings the tropics to you. There's Piva Cola, Orange Cocktail, Grape and Tangy. Grab yours today. For bulk purchase, call 0550-032-231. A taste you love, made in Ghana, made for the world. Swing by any Total branch for a treat, whether it's the Liberation Road, Tesano, Dakuman, Link Road, Farah Avenue, or Oxford Street, or Community One, Stadium, or Apremdo. We have a great Christmas deal for you. Between now and end of January, change your oil, get a free Elite car wash to keep your ride sparkling. Follow us on our socials, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Richard Delasky is wearing a coolie high. Good morning.
Good morning, my brother. How's it going?
Very well. Nathan Kwame is also here with this light white blue shirt. Good morning, Nathan.
Hi, good morning.
And you are popping, man.
I'm just ready for election.
You are popping. You are popping.
You know, this is one of the few US elections I don't know who's going to win.
Oh no, I know who is going to win.
Oh, but you know everything.
No, I don't know everything.
We'll know by. I interviewed a lady from the View and she says we'll probably know by Friday.
Charlie, the American people have already decided.
No, only 75 million are voting.
I know about
so
that.
Many people are still voting.
Yeah, they are voting, but they decided.
Oh, you already know.
Oh.
So they shouldn't waste their time.
They have decided.
The outcome is already there.
Oh, it is clear.
Hey.
Yes, that's a European Union term.
I need your kind of spectacles. I can't see my way clear. Even today, I can't see my way clear.
Okay.
So you are very sure?
Oh, very, very sure. This matter is without contest.
I will hear you out later on this.
Oh, no.
You are so cool.
I'll be accused of interfering.
Where did you go and consult?
I went
to
see.
Look in the bottle.
Yeah, before.
And you saw the man.
Oh, my mama, you can take it
Yeah. Interesting. All right, so that BC is the focus of the graphic this morning. What are they saying?
Well, it says BC grading system unchanged in spite of curriculum change that's coming in from WAEC.
Really?
Yep. The Ebrehini is here. He's urging stakeholders commit to peaceful elections. Sam Jonah, others brainstorm a graphic development series today. And Glyco Pension presents 3-bedroom house to best teacher. And a study on the back page of the Daily Graphic says non-communicable diseases account for 45% of deaths in Ghana.
Let me take you to the Ghanaian Times big story. NHIS e-pharmacy set to combat illegal charges. Also on the front page this morning, Boku chieftaincy conflict, 6 more killed. Death toll rises to 30. This is getting to really, really concerning levels. One too many. 2 wins. Who wins U.S. election as Americans go to the polls today? And MOFA begins 5-day AgriFest 2024 in Accra.
When is Farmers Day, by the way?
It's normally in November.
We have to confirm it before the show ends.
Yes. The Chronicle says STEM education for basic schools. Educhum launches mega project in Accra. Police begin medical examination stage of 2024 recruitment exercise. And Dr. Baumia is here. I'll dedicate 3% of GDP to private sector.
I take you to the Daily Guide. Nana fires election prophecies. Also on the front page this morning, Burkinabe gets life for German wife, daughter's murder. Also, police invite applicants for medicals. And then also, we're told that I'll prioritize rail industry. Dr. Baumia quoted here saying,
The Daily Post says December 7 election, Global Info Analytics poll predicts one-touch win for Mahama with 33 days to go. Baumia's support among floating voters has decreased. That's also coming from Global Info Analytics. Dr. Clement Apak is here. He says, Education Committee unaware of new SHS curriculum. We were not consulted. And Clocksack declares nationwide strike on the 7th of November.
The Economy Times says, CD continues to depreciate. Also on the front page, second DDEP impacts financial sector marginally. Players optimistic of fast recovery. And ADB MD is public sector CEO of the year.
Right, finally from me, the BNFT, license IPPs under Free Zones Act. That's coming from Apetobo, and it says it will boost regional export. In terms of agriculture, PFJ Phase 2 gets 3.3 billion CD funding. And on the matter of standardization, FDA, GSA starts harmonization scheme to boost industry and SMEs. And there are a number of features in the BNFT. This one says BRICS and the end of dollar dominance, a new economic order or a global gamble. And the other one says stabilizing the city, the BOG strategic approach for the festive season.
Finally, from me, the graphic businesses this morning, T-bill rates hit 8-month high. Bernard, 91-day bill reaches 26.56%.
Where is it going?
Charlie,
Where is it going?
Now, staple food prices saw dry spell hits hard at Tamale traders. So food crisis likely to hit us, Bernard. And then also 5G rollout demands tighter fintech regulations.
Is it a dry spell or a drought? Because I got a call from an agronomist who says there are parts of the north experiencing drought. So he doesn't understand why we keep calling it a dry spell. We can check.
Okay.
We can check that later.
Okay.
All right. So the story is saying what? There's
Dry spell hits
in-
hard at
and-
Tamale traders.
and it's affecting food prices.
Yes.
All right. Now, the graphic has a story about the Farmers' Day. I'll let you deal with that shortly. But City Newsroom, no individual organization is above the Constitution. This is the AG. Now, Mahama accuses NPP of development allocation bias. Educhum says free SHS double track is research-driven and result-oriented.
Okay.
In other stories, UK will switch to e-visas in 2025.
Okay.
Bawumia has genuine support in Ashanti, according to Sampine. And then City FM Channel 1 hand over a 1.3 million CD market washroom facility borehole to residents of New Bakba. Channel 1 says double track is key to free SHS access. Don't abolish it. Educhum quoted here. Abortion, immigration, economy, top issues driving US election, according to Patsy Vidakuskara. She's the bureau chief for VOA for the White House. I interviewed her yesterday. Meanwhile, elections, democracy under threat in the US, according to Professor H.C. Kanku on the same program. Meanwhile, Roman Father is the GFP flag bearer for the 2024 election.
Roman father?
Yes.
Dennis.
His name is
From
Roman
Vatican?
Father.
Oh,
The running mate for Q Adonko is now the candidate, but his nickname is Roman Father.
Yes,
I
called
see.
Dennis.
And the father is Fada.
okay.
So it's a different father, not the father you know. Okay, a few more stories. High Court dismisses application against COP Yohuno, and then my goal will be build stadia in all 16 regions. Mahama promises. My Joe Online is leading with a cocoa story from Reuters, and the story is claiming that cocoa farmers hoard beans in anticipation of price hike. This is not Yokegari beans. This is cocoa beans
Okay.
in anticipation of price hike. Just to be clear, High Commission dismisses lecturers' bid to block Deputy IGP appointment, and then Constitution reigns supreme in Ghana, declares Attorney General, and then Ghana's firefighting crisis: 53% of fire appliances either faulty or out of service. Can you imagine
That's
this?
serious.
Class FM is also leading with elections. Akufo-Addo knows MPP is about to lose December poll. Mahama is quoted. Shocking moment: footballer was struck dead by lightning on a football pitch. But this is not in Africa. It's somewhere far away.
Hey.
So don't worry.
Togo is Zakajana.
They are everywhere, Charlie. The power is not only here. Now, if you go to the global, let me give you some few headlines globally. So, for example, the BBC says Trump or Harris, millions head to polls for razor-tight U.S. election. Meanwhile, Elon Musk can give $1 million to voters. Judge rules. So Elon Musk can give money. Yeah.
Charlie, make you can't see we too for this.
No, we don't want money to be given to vote.
Oh, no, it's
Meanwhile,
not good.
there's a nice feature here. Americans braced as two stark visions collide on election day. Politico.com says Georgia anxiously settles into its role as a swing state. It says it's going to be a very key state. And then if you go to Bloomberg, their main story is how the world is prepping for either Trump or Harris victory.
Okay.
If I think me,
Let's take off this morning. I take you to the north of the country. The Daily Graphic, the business version, has a story that says staple food prices soar. Dry spell hits hard at Tamale traders. Now from Jonas Biawebi. And it says that the severe dry spell in northern Ghana 3 months ago has devastated agricultural production and triggered a dramatic surge in food prices in Tamale, with staple crop prices doubling in just 2 months, pushing basic commodities beyond the reach of many residents. Now, staple food prices have skyrocketed by nearly 100%, placing unprecedented economic pressure on traders and consumers in the Tamale metropolitan area. The story continues and says that a survey conducted by graphic business at the Tamale Abuabe market revealed that a bowl of groundnut, which one we call pina, that used to be sold at 21 Ghana cedis, is now selling at 32 Ghana cedis. An increase of, the story continues on page 12 of the...
a bowl of granite.
Yeah.
It used to sell at what?
21.
And it's now 30.
Yeah, 32 Ghana cedis. And the story continues on page 12 of the newspaper. 11 Ghana cedis and a bag of granite. Oh, I think they made a mistake. Okay, so a bowl. Yeah, okay. A bag that was 900 Ghana cedis is now 1,000 300 Ghana cedis, a difference of 400 Ghana cedis. Now, within 2 months, a bag of local rice jumped from 250 Ghana cedis to 600 Ghana cedis. But that's crazy. An astronomical increase of 350 Ghana cedis. Now, millet 2 months ago was selling at 950 Ghana cedis for a bag, but has increased to 1,250 Ghana cedis. An increase of 350 Ghana cedis. Now, a bowl of beans, you were talking about beans, not, but this one is beans, bobo, that used to be sold at 55 Ghana cedis, is now selling at 75 Ghana cedis. Now, corn,
Why?
obli, which is the most common staple used by many people in the north, is now sold at 25 Ghana cedis for a bowl.
Have they given a reason for this?
Well, it's the dry spells.
The dry spell.
Which parts of the north? This
the-
was a
the
Tamale
story-
market.
so Abu area.
In Tamale.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
right.
Well, let's go to
Continue with Agric.
Yes, so let's stay with that. PFJ Phase 2 gets 3.3 billion CD funding. The story says, this is on page 2 of the BNFT, says the Ministry of Food and Agriculture has allocated 3.3 billion CDs for a complete implementation of the government's flagship Planting for Food and Jobs Phase 2. The allotment, as stated in MOFA's medium-term expenditure framework document for 2024 to 2027, says the government will contribute some 2.7 billion CDs of the amount, while the remainder is sourced from development partners. MOFA indicates that with the requisite commitment, diligence, collaboration, support, and full participation, PFJ 2.0 will make the country self-sufficient in all its staple commodities by the end of 2028. And the final note on agriculture, page 17 of the Daily Graphic, the Ministry of Food and Agriculture has officially launched the 40th National Farmers' Day celebration in Accra.
Okay.
The event marks the start of a 5-day exhibition, which will lead to the grand award ceremony on Friday, November 8th, where the president will present awards to deserving farmers in various commodity categories. So from this, I think we can extract the info that says that Farmers' Day is on the 8th of November, I believe.
What is not clear is whether it's a holiday or not.
Exactly.
That's not clear yet. Now let's continue with other stories. Let me stay with the Greek sector briefly. There's a story on Reuters that says cocoa farmers are hoarding beans in anticipation of a price hike. Now, this story says that cocoa farmers in Ghana are hoarding beans in anticipation of higher prices. Industry sources told Reuters, potentially squeezing supplies to a global cocoa market looking to recover from last season's disastrous harvest. Now, while the scale of the upcountry bean stocking was not clear, a dozen farmers, buyers, and officials from State Regular Cocoa Board confirmed the practice, with some blaming it for a slowing of bean purchases. The sources said all farmers were reacting to comments by the Vice President Baumia, who to supporters of the MPP 4 weeks ago that the government would raise prices for farmers. So it's like in anticipation of this raise, some are hoarding. Baumia was speaking at Sheffiwi also, one of the biggest cocoa growing towns, and has since said his comments had been misunderstood. All right. So according to this analysis, some of the farmers are not selling because they are waiting for a new. But I thought he raised their price only recently.
Yeah.
And then we are told CEO Joseph Edu told Ghanaian media that farm gate price would be raised if the Ghanaian cedi currency depreciates, eroding farmers' incomes. So basically, they are monitoring the currency to determine whether to raise price or not. Now, let's come to education. BC.
Yes, if you go to the front page of the Daily Graphic, is here, and the West African Examinations Council (WAEC) says the change in curriculum at the JHS level does not come with a change in the grading system.
Really?
It has therefore insisted that it has not introduced any new grading systems for BEC as being speculated. And John Cappy, who is the head of public relations at WAEC, says, quote, the Stenine grading system is what has been in use since the first BC was written in 1990. WAEC has not issued any statistics indicating the pass or failure rates among students, end quote. And he told the Daily Graphic this in an interview. He went on to describe speculation over the supposed grading system as fake news and asked the public to disregard it, adding that if there was any change in the grading system, it would have been discussed extensively.
Okay. So shall we take you now to the health sector? Because there's a story that says NHIS combats illegal charges with e-pharmacy. The story is on page 6 of the Daily Guide, and it says the National Health Insurance Authority, or scheme, is leveraging the Ghana National Electronic Pharmacy Platform, e-pharmacy, to combat illegal charges, commonly referred to as co-payments. Now, the Chief Executive of the National Health Insurance Authority, Dr. Da Costa Boaje, shared this information during a series of staff debates held across the country, where he engaged with employees on enhancing the scheme and his welfare enhancement plans. Now, the most recent gathering took place last Friday at the authority's head office in Accra. Now, he appealed to all credentialed facilities and staff to support his vision of eliminating illegal charges. Let's stay within that particular space. Okay, go on.
Yes, the back page of the Daily Graphic, and
Still
there's
on
a
health,
study,
right?
yes, still on health, yes, says non-communicable diseases account for 45% of deaths in Ghana. So it's written by Beatrice Zilai, and it says a nationwide survey on non-communicable diseases has revealed that these diseases are responsible for about 45% of all deaths in the country, with cardiovascular diseases, cancers, chronic respiratory diseases, and diabetes being the leading contributors. Also, the survey identified unhealthy diets, physical inactivity, tobacco use, and harmful alcohol consumption as the primary risk factors for NCDs in the country. Conducted in all 16 regions and 385 communities among 5,438 participants aged between 18 and 69, the survey highlighted the fact that these risk factors are intensified or were intensified by urbanization, lifestyle changes, and limited access to healthcare services.
Be careful what you eat.
Yeah. But now let me take you to the courts. There's a story here. Burkinabe gets life for German wife, daughter's murder. Jibril Abdul Razak says Boiguna Alois, a 47-year-old Burkinabe, was yesterday sentenced to life imprisonment by a high court in Accra for killing his German wife and a 14-year-old daughter at Kokrobite in Accra in 2020. Now, the convict, according to the court documents, had used a hammer to hit the head of his late wife, Claudia Weisman, 53, and later strangled their 14-year-old daughter for fear of reporting his dastardly act. Now, he had pleaded not guilty to 2 counts of murder, but a 7-member jury yesterday returned a unanimous guilty verdict against him at the end of the trial.
This is so sad. Now let me go back to education. Dr. Educhum says that double track is key to free SHS access. Don't abolish it. Now, Education Minister Dr. Yawase Educhum has cautioned against calls to abolish the double track system, warning that doing so could limit access to free SHS education for many Ghanaians. Now, Dr. Educhum, who paid an unannounced visit to Presbyterian Boys Secondary School, Presec, Legon, on Monday, November 4, emphasized that the double track system ensures broader access to secondary education. His visit allowed him to assess the admission process for first-year students and interact with them, encouraging them to fully utilize the opportunities provided by the free SHS program. I think you should invite him to 3 Town too.
It's very, very important.
He likes moving to my school.
Yeah,
a lot.
that's
Yeah, I was
right.
about
He usually says that he wants to build a presec in every town.
Yeah. In fact, you
should come
use
to 3 Town.
Yeah, 3 Town. Use that for the
Maybe you
purpose.
should use your speech day to announce it.
Very bad.
You are doing speech day in November.
Yes,
You are
very
not
good.
inviting them.
That's-
T-bill rates are going up. It's
Oh.
not a good thing. Business graphic, page 1. Interest rates on government short-term securities, treasury bills have surged to their highest level in 8 months. I don't know whether elections have anything to do with this. As the 91-day bill climbed to 26.56% in November's latest auctions, signaling renewed pressure on the country's short-term borrowing costs. Oh Lord. It also tells that people are buying T-bills. Right? Now, the current rate is the highest since March 18, or rather selling. The current rate is the highest since March 18, and this story continues on page 4. When the yield, I think, reached the mid-20s. Then the story then gives some background to why this is happening. It says that the yield for the 182 is 27.58 and 364 is 29.03. Ghana's treasury bill rates have experienced significant volatility over the past decade, reflecting the country's economic challenges and policy responses. Then it gives a background. In 2022, the rates saw a dramatic surge, reaching unprecedented levels above 35%, as the country grappled with a severe economic crisis marked by currency depreciation and soaring inflation.
Okay.
Now, we are told that the pre-2020 ratios were relatively stable, averaging around 14 to 16%, which is more normal. But between 2020 to 2022, right, then post-COVID, they went to 35, and now they are rising again. And the government is relying on the T-bill market because it's close out to the international market, so buying a lot of bills, and implications of this not necessarily good for the economy.
And still talking economics, the Economy Times has a story that's concerning CD continues to depreciate. Now, somewhere in the story by Elom Deseu, currently the CD is trading at nearly 17 Ghana cedis to $1, reflecting a significant year-to-year depreciation of 24.3%. Now, the country's gross international reserves increased by $6.58 billion US dollars to $7.50 billion US dollars at the end of August 2024, equivalent to 3.4 months of import cover. Bernard, where are we going? Where are we going? Where are we going? Where are we going?
Abortion,
Fix the economy. Fix it.
immigration, and economy are topping issues for the U.S. election, according to the Voice of America's bureau chief for the White House. In an interview on the point of view, the bureau chief, her name is pretty long, Patsy Vidakuswara, I just almost noted significant differences in the priorities between supporters of Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. She says, while Trump focuses on economy, Kamala focuses on abortion. She says Trump attributes high inflation rates to the Biden administration, contrasting this with the lower inflation rates experienced under his tenure. And then, so he says, for a lot of women, the abortion issue is big, but for a lot of men, there may be other issues. So he also shed light. He says, she said, in 21 years of covering elections, this is the closest election she's covered.
Okay.
The closest. And the
We
polls
wish
are saying the same thing.
We wish Americans all the best, and we hope that we'll send the delegates.
I hope you will sound as triumphant on Friday. When
Oh,
the results come out. Because you are confident.
Madam, this one, my confidence level is on the.
Really?
Oh, I'm telling you, this election is foregone conclusion.
Wow.
I've already drafted the victory speech.
This is the City Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Oh, jump on now.
Go. Ah, Ugomi, at what time will you come back where I don't hear the sound of your car? Why you buy new car?
No, I not change my car. It be the same ride. It be the fuel way I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, it's so.
This is the type of fuel where they want to. Because now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it, it go protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I go drive, sir.
Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. And what they bust my mind self be the 3-in-1 action, no? Excellium they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. Won't pay when I open there.
Hey, so where can I find this magical fuel?
Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you.
Hey, then make a finish my gobe fast, then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why your hand my gobe inside?
I give you info. Make I feel the go too small.
Go.
Joe Pana. Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
My body, when you wake up in the morning and you know the money calling. Oh, you go work. But you know it's I on your side. If I believe with us, if I hold my hand and believe, cause you know it's I on your side. And when you dream, no say I did by you. And when you hustle every day, many wanna go. Anything you do, I did for you. Many want. If I believe I did your side, fidelity. If I believe with us, fidelity. If I know I did your side, fidelity.
Looking for a burst of flavor in every sip? Discover the refreshing taste of Piva beverages. Enjoy the classic Piva Cola flavor, perfect fit anytime. How about a fruity adventure? Try our delightful Piva orange fruit drink packed with recognized citrus flavor. Craving something exotic? Our Piva cocktail fruit drink brings the tropics to you. For a sweet and juicy treat, grab our grapefruit drink and don't miss out on the refreshing Piva Tangerine fruit drink, bursting with tangerine flavor. Piva Cola, Piva Orange, Piva Cocktail, Piva Grape, Piva Tangy. Grab yours today. Available now at your local store. Call us on 055-00-322-31. Piva, a taste you'd love. This advert is FDA approved.
P for Piva.
The City Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
City Business News with Neil Latilati. Good morning.
Good morning, Bernard. Hello to you out there. Welcome to the breakfast edition of City Business News on 97.3 City FM. This bulletin is proudly brought to you by MTN, Goil and EcoBank. Coming up this morning, as the U.S. goes to the polls today, financial analysts advise Ghana to explore new trade partnerships following uncertainty surrounding which candidate will emerge victorious. Also, Ghana's state-owned debt refinancing entity ESLA PLC post over 200% increase in profits for the first 9 months of 2024. And later, NLA to crack the whip on unlicensed operators defying lottery laws after close of 2025 licensing year. My name is Neil Latte. Thank you very much indeed for joining us this Tuesday morning. As the United States of America prepares for its general elections for today, Ghanaian financial analysts are urging the government to adopt an open door policy in response to the uncertainty surrounding which candidate will emerge victorious. Many market watchers emphasize the importance of diversifying foreign relations and strengthening trade relations to mitigate any potential risk. Analysts suggest that Ghana explore new trade partnerships and enhance existing ones to reduce economic dependence on any single country. Emmanuel Opon has more in the following report.
The upcoming U.S. presidential elections, whether won by former President Donald Trump or Vice President Kamala Harris, hold significant global implications that could reverberate across economies, including Ghana's. In an interview with Citi Business News, Professor Patrick Isumin explains trade as a crucial area where the two candidates' policy sharply diverge. Trump's America First approach signals potential shift in trade dynamics that could impact Ghana's economic ties and market access.
There might be a small change in trade policy, but I think the bigger impact is how, if a Trump presidency comes back, how it's going to impact the global economy because of how he conducts his foreign relations and trade policy. So that might actually bring a little more uncertainty to begin with, and then also maybe you might see a return of trade wars if he returns to power, and that might have an indirect impact.
In emerging markets, the main risk stems from Trump's plan to enact tariffs which would weaken their export and further put pressures on their local currencies. Harris, although relatively quiet to date on issues of global trade, is largely expected to maintain the trade policies of the current administration under President Joe Biden, emphasizing multilateral cooperation. Professor Isumin maintains that African countries, including Ghana, must enhance diversifying foreign relations to mitigate potential risk.
As far as trade is concerned, we've seen China and countries like UAE have become very important trade partners in recent years. So that kind of diversifying our sources of business, international business, is already ongoing. So, and you expect that will continue.
Finance lecturer at the University of Ghana Business School, Professor Patrick Isumin, ending Emmanuel Opon's report. A while longer on the economy, because economist Professor Godfrey Bokpin has opined that the recent improvement in the country's growth rate is insignificant as it is not positively impacting the lives of Ghanaians. The International Monetary Fund reaffirmed its projection for Ghana's economic growth in 2024, maintaining the forecast at 3.1%.
Of the growth drivers, whether they are coming from the labor-intensive subsectors of the economy. In other words, whether this group is actually job-rich, whether this group is going to put a smile on the faces of many Ghanaians. From that perspective, the answer is no. If you look at largely our economy is a gold economy, whether through responsible mining or irresponsible mining, that sector is actually not creating decent jobs. If you look at ICT communication, again, we are not getting the much needed employment from that sector as well. Overall, we can say that, yes, we are seeing recovery, we are seeing growth picking up gradually. It is insufficient, and it's going to take us a while to actually grow up to our full potential.
Professor Godfrey Bokpin is an economist. Now, ESLA PLC, Ghana's state-owned debt refinancing entity, has posted a significant 219% increase in profits for the first 9 months ending September 30, 2024, with net earnings surging to 165.75 million Ghana cedis from 51.90 million in the same period last year. Now, the company attributed the rise in profits to effective receivables collections and a reduction in interest expenses due to a large-scale bond buyback. Now, cash and cash equivalents rose notably by 69% to 3.79 billion, reflecting strong liquidity, well in line with its mission to reduce Ghana's energy sector debt. ESLA PLC, the special purpose vehicle established to resolve Ghana's energy sector debt burden, maintained a healthy balance sheet with total assets at 5.32 billion Ghana cedis and retained earnings climbing from 321.64 million to 509.26 million Ghana cedis year on year. Now, tensions escalated between members of the Ghana Institute of Freight Forwarders and country manager of Hapag Lloyd Ghana Limited, Robert Oram, after he refused to accept a petition in the presence of the media. Now, this incident occurred during a picket at various shipping lines in Tema, including Hapag Lloyd, over what the freight forwarders described as exploitative port charges. Daniel Odro-Mensah was there and provides more in the following report.
The Ghana Institute of Freight Forwarders renewed its protest to emphasize its demands at several shipping lines in Tema, following a previous demonstration on September 24, 2024, after issuing a 14-day ultimatum to the shipping lines and dissatisfied with their responses. The group staged a picket at shipping companies like Akas Ghana Limited and Hapag Lloyd Ghana Limited. Instead of presenting their petition to a representative, the group insisted on meeting with the Chief Executive Officer of Hapag Lloyd Ghana Limited.
These are the people that make them all the money that they make. So, under what circumstance would the CEO be in office and no one? What are we? There are police here. What is he scared of? We wouldn't want the CEO to come and receive our petition. We don't have a problem with the operations person. But the point is that these are CEOs of businesses that have arrived here today. And we expect the CEO, the money that we give him, it's just a basic interaction to present a petition to him. So with the greatest of respect, we would want the CEO to be here so that we can present a petition and off we go.
After the group persisted in their demands, the country manager eventually met with the freight forwarders but declined to engage due to the media's presence. The president of the Ghana Institute of Freight Forwarders, Stephen Ajokache, reaffirmed their commitment to advocate for more favorable business conditions at the ports.
Fortunately, International Freight Forwarders Association, FIATA, is an international body that overlooks all shipping charges and procedures. Very soon, there's going to be an official letter coming to be given to the transport minister and all that lead or regulate these shipping lines, and we take it from there. We cannot force him to meet that. He came down when he saw the media, he refused to meet us. So we have nothing to say, but at the right time, we shall see who runs the show.
In a related development, the Institute announced plans at an earlier press conference to closely monitor the operations of the Ghana Shippers Authority following the enactment of its new law.
It's not for want of enactment, it is for want of enforcement. That is why we have also said that we will be watching the space as to what happens with the new Shippers Authority Act.
You heard a former president of the Ghana Institute of Freight Forwarders, Kwabena Ofosu-Appiah, ending that report filed by my colleague Daniel Odro-Mensah. Now, if you are a lotto operator operating without license, the National Lottery Authority, NLA, will be coming after you soon. The NLA is urging private lotto operators, entities, and individuals intending to operate or sell lotto or lottery products in 2025 to use the open door window to get their license to avoid falling on the wrong side of the law.
Operators have until November 29, 2024 to submit their applications. To operate legally in 2025, all existing licensed private lotto operators are to take steps to renew their license for the 2025 year to enable the governing board of the National Lottery Authority to issue the license promptly. Also, all lotto operators are required to pay an annual licensing fee of 550,000 Ghana cedis and a monthly fee of 50,000 Ghana cedis. The NLA also advised that companies operating as sole proprietorships can apply, but no two companies may merge under one single operator's license. Each applicant will undergo a thorough review process to confirm their eligibility. To reinforce its commitment to legal operations in the lotto sector, the NLA has warned that after the licensing window closes, it will actively enforce compliance. The statement highlighted plans to deploy its task force in collaboration with security agencies to crack down on unlicensed operators and entities that defy the law. As the NLA seeks to streamline the sector and uphold regulatory standards, this year's licensing exercise serves as a stern reminder of its resolve to eliminate illegal activities and ensure full compliance across the lotto industry. The NLA has outlined guidelines for the 2025 licensing year, emphasizing the necessity for compliance under the National Lotto Act 2006, Act 722. The application process officially began on November 1, 2024, with forms available at the NLA offices nationwide.
That report was by Citi Business News' Daniel Sakite. Now, on the forex market, the dollar selling at 16 cedis 90 pesos, the British pound at 21 cedis 80 pesos, that of the euro going for 18 cedis 30 pesos. And that's it for the breakfast edition of Citi Business News, proudly brought to you by MTN, Goil, and EcoBank. My name is Neil Atilati. Do have a good business day.
For over 60 years, Good Energy has served you top quality fuels. Goil brings you Super XP for a smooth ride. It is available in Goil stations nationwide. Goil Super XP is fortified with special additives which help your engine perform better and use less fuel. Goil Super XP is quality fuel, the ideal choice for most vehicles. Energize your ride with Goil Super XP. Who feel ya? Huh? Who be feel? Good energy. Joy, dear.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
We understand the excitement and preparations that comes when your child gains admission into senior high school. But we at the Agricultural Development Bank, ADB PLC, also understand the financial burden this comes with. The chopbox, trunk, school mattress, you name it. That's why we have partnered with Prospectus Ghana Limited to offer financial support for parents by introducing the ADB Quick Purchase. With a smart loan of up to 20,000 Ghana cedis, you can pick up all the items on your child's prospectus for school. ADB PLC offers you a repayment plan of 12 months to relieve you of all that heavy financial burden. Every ADB customer who receives their salaries through the bank, military and police personnel, and all other workers on the Controller and Accountant General's payroll qualify for this facility. Walk into any ADB branch nationwide or any Prospectus Ghana Limited office near you to apply for the ADB Quick Purchase. Terms and conditions apply. ADB, the People's Bank. ADB, truly a Greek and more.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
$7:15. Coming up next is kickoff. Gabby Affairs in the building. We'll get into that in a bit, but just gone by was the Citi Business News, brought to you by EcoBank. Everyday people face different emergencies: police emergency, fire emergencies, medical emergencies, you name it. You don't remember what your emergency number is? Just remember this one: *770#. That's the new EcoBank money emergency number. You get instant access to loans, fund transfers, utility bill payments, airtime, data purchases, and so much more. Just dial *770#. For solutions to your money emergencies, EcoBank is the Pan-African bank. Coming up next is Kickoff, proudly brought to us by Polytank. You want a tank for your home, office, whatever, go and buy Polytank. That is the only name in the business. They've been doing it for over 30 years. They know what they're about. Is the first, the best, and certainly the original. Go for guaranteed quality. Choose Polytank. Polytank near Papa Nunye. Zonda Ghana is also bringing us Kickoff. If you want, quality trucks for your projects, Shantui bulldozers, excavators, graders, payloaders, rollers, power pickups, and everything else, go to Zonda Ghana. Find them on the Tema Flower Road. That's where their head office is, and they have 7 branches all over the country. Call them on 0501 77 2222. Zonda, built in Ghana, building Ghana. Let's get into Kickoff. The Champions League is back. And all of a sudden, a match between Sporting Club and Manchester City now has extra layers of relevance. The beautiful game indeed. Gabby Offa here has got the latest from the world of sport.
Well, Tuesday morning, welcome aboard to Kickoff. My name is Gabby Offa. Coming up in the next 10 minutes.
Our president is pushing very hard, and he even wants it to start, in the middle. He thinks that by the second round of the league, we should even start with the VR.
Well, GFA's referees manager Alex Cote on the introduction of the video assistant referee in Ghana's league. He's projecting the use of VAR in 2025-2026 season. More from that in a bit. Also coming up. Well, it's match day 4 of the UEFA Champions League. Big matches coming up tonight from today and Wednesday. We'll get into that a bit later, but we are on the wings of Charles Lachelle, Zonda GH and Polytank Ghana, Papa Nunye. Let's get into the details. And the referees manager of the Ghana Football Association and head of the video's assistant referee VAR, Alex Cote, believes that introducing VAR will enhance the credibility of refereeing in the Ghana Premier League. His remarks follow a series of controversial refereeing decisions in the league that have sparked dissatisfaction among some football fans. Now, recently, the Federation International de Football Association, that's FIFA, held a crucial meeting with GFA reps and other stakeholders to discuss the implementation of VAR in Ghana's domestic league.
So the first thing is that the first benefit is that it will bring a high level of credibility. And a typical example is the AFCON 2024 that we all witnessed. Okay, and we all saw that the AFCON in Cote d'Ivoire was a success because of the VAR. Okay, and to the extent that even the inventors of the technology felt that Africans have really utilized the VAR to the best minimum. Okay, so yes, credibility in our game is very, very high when we are able to bring in VAR. It also gives our FIFA referees, the opportunity to also officiate in CAF and FIFA tournaments.
Well, that's Alex Cote speaking to City Sports there. Well, he also mentioned that GFA President Kete Kreku is advocating for the introduction of VAR in the second round of the ongoing season scheduled to that has started already, and also looking forward to the 2024-25 Ghana Premier League scheduled to begin in January 2025.
We don't expect any media person to go sit on radio whilst VAR is being used to use or come up with language or words that are not in conformity with the VAR, and so we need to take the media, the broadcasters, and everybody into a very some moment of training just for them to know the language, that they need to use when they are rendering their broadcasting or their commentary or whatever it is. And so 2025-2026 is our action plan, but we will try and make sure that we have some trials before the implementation itself. Okay, our president is pushing very hard, and he even wants it to start, in the middle. He thinks that by the second round of the league, we should even start with the VR. And so it is a lot of work, but we are committed to doing it. And so we'll try and put our heads together and see how best it can be done.
Well, Alex Corte is the referee's manager for the Ghana Football Association, speaking to City Sports. Then the Ghana Premier League, Legon Cities recorded their second win of the season with a 2-0 win over Young Apostles. Dennis Adoma and Rahim Yahya Abdu were both on the score sheet for Parkway Sifiben's side, and that 2-0 win at the University of Ghana Stadium last night. Well, of the field issues, Heart of Lions head coach Bashir Hayford has received a 5-month suspension from the GFA's disciplinary committee due to unsporting behaviour towards match officials, and that came in that game against Carolina United, where Hayford allegedly directed verbal abuse at the referees. Along with the ban, Hayford has been fined 5,000 Ghana cedis and warned that any further misconduct could lead to even stricter penalties. Well, Nations FC have also been handed a 1-match ban following misconduct during the matchday 6 clash against Bienne Gold Stars at the Dr. Kwame Chase Sports Complex, and the committee ruled that the club failed to ensure the safety of match officials, allowing supporters to assault them during the game. We head to Europe, and Arsenal sporting director Ed Gaspar has resigned from his position and agreed in a deal in principle to take up a role with Nottingham Forest owner Evangelos Marinakis, and precise details of the role are to be confirmed, and a formal deal is still to be finalized. But Arsenal confirmed the news understood to be entirely Edu's decision last night. Well, on the field later tonight in match day 4 of the UEFA Champions League, 2 matches kicking off at 5:45 p.m. PSV will take on Girona as Slovan Bratislava is up against Dinamo Zagreb. For the 8 p.m. batch of matches, Bologna take on Monaco. Celtic will play RB Leipzig. Borussia Dortmund up against Sturm Graz. Lille will take on Juventus. Liverpool face Bayer Leverkusen. And for Liverpool, they get to see the return of former legend Xabi Alonso, who's now the head coach of Bayer Leverkusen. But Alonso says he's focused on the game and not the emotions of an Anfield return. But let's hear from Liverpool's manager Arne Slot on facing Leverkusen.
It is a big European tie, which is almost always the situation if you play Champions League, even in a new format. Although there might be maybe 1 or 2 or 3 teams that are not as known as all the other teams that are in the competition. But definitely for all the reasons you say, maybe mainly also because what Xabi Alonso did for this club, especially in Europe as well. But maybe more because of how he manages Leverkusen, how strong they are as domestically, as in Europe. Last season they were incredible, of course. This season, in my opinion, they are still the same, just as good, but a bit more unlucky when it comes to results. So
that should be a good game later tonight as Liverpool taking on Bayer Leverkusen at Anfield. Some more games coming up. Madrid take on AC Milan. Sporting Lisbon up against Manchester City. And for Sporting boss Ruben Amorim, he says United fans may think that he's the new Alex Ferguson. That's if his team beats Manchester City tonight. And he adds that facing City will be tough.
For me, it's another game as a sporting coach, and I will be judged as a sporting coach. It's a massive game. For me, he's the best coach in the world. I know it's tough for Manchester United fans, and I think he's the best team in the world. So it's going to be a tough game. We are near the qualification for playoff, so this game is very important. It's my last game in Alvalade, so that is my focus. The objectives of Sporting, my last game in Alvalade. I know everybody in England are looking and taking ideas for this game, but for me it's just that. As Sporting coach, my last game here, so that is the focus.
Well, that is the focus. That's Ruben Amorim, incoming Manchester United boss, has seen his last game for Sporting in the UEFA Champions League. Well, let's stay with that and hear from Manchester City's Pep Guardiola on facing Sporting tonight.
Well, play quite similar like we faced 2 seasons ago. The pattern is so clear. I think they they use the ball possession from back a little bit more than before. Before they have a striker 2 years ago, a Palinha, that was most linked to him. Now Gokeres is quite similar, link, but his movements in behind are so dangerous. The pace and the control, and a good link inside, a good switch of plays, a good movements in behind for the people in front. It's quite similar patterns that they play 2 seasons.
All right, so that's Manchester City's boss, Pep Guardiola, speaking there. In the Premier League last night, substitute Harry Wilson stunned Brentford with 2 injury time goals as Fulham came from behind to snatch point at the Craven Cottage. That's all the latest for today. For more, you can head to City Sports Online. That's coming on X at City Sports JJ. Back later at 5 p.m. with Sports Flash on the Traffic Avenue. My name is Gabriel Fair. Kickoff was proudly brought to you by Shell, Lachelle, and Zonda GH, and also Polytangana, Papa Nuni. Enjoy the rest of your day. Do take care and bye-bye.
Guys, Charlie, you know that mining contract I've been chasing for years now? I just got awarded the deal, but the issue is where to get the right and quality heavy-duty trucks to execute this job here in Ghana.
Relax, my guy. Remember my recent construction deal at Pokwase? Zonda sorted me out.
Zonda? What? Who is that?
Zonda Tech Ghana Limited is your one-stop shop for machinery, heavy and light-duty trucks, and pickups. They have the Shantui bulldozers, graders, payloaders, rollers, FUA pickups, 4-land light trucks, TX trucks, and oil tanks. Made and assembled right here in Ghana with top-notch after-sale service and standard prices.
Made in Ghana. This is amazing.
You haven't seen my Zonda Power pickup, which I take to the office. Strong, durable, and tough on our roads.
Hey, that's from Zonda too?
Absolutely. Zonda is the right place for you, my guy.
Oh, now I am sorted with Zonda. Zonda Tech Ghana Limited, your solution for heavy and light-duty trucks. Located at Tema, off their Flower Road. Call 0501-772-222 or 0501-773-333. Zonda, built in Ghana, building Ghana.
Poletankinye, Papa Nunye, Poletankinye, Papa Nunye,
Papa Naka Messi, Papa Nunye Kamesi, Only one Poletan, strong and reliable, trusted by generation. We want the citizens to buy only Poletan.
Poletankinye, Papa Nunye, Poletankinye, Papa Nunye, Accra Plumbers, say so.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CityCBS.
Pepper powder, pepper jawo, sankofa pepper powder, sankofa pepper powder, sankofa pepper powder. Etienga go better than your potoyoa. Sankofa got you covered. Go for sankofa pepper powder. Sankofa pepper powder. Abuna abonje krakra. Sankofa pepper powder. Red and hot, very natural. Sankofa pepper powder. Chinchinga and Nambia. Sankofa pepper powder. Noodles, Ghana jollo. Sankofa pepper powder. Eshishi anete. Sankofa pepper powder. Sankofa pepper powder. Sankofa pepper powder. Sankofa pepper powder.
Join the Republic Verse. Enter the Republic Bank space. Online or within the banking hall, we open the right doors for you to make the most of life. With our suite of superb banking products and services, our clients, corporate, SME, investments, and individuals get to enjoy amazing benefits. Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
We're the one for you.
Hey, Mapadi, so you still haven't gotten any job in the last 6 years?
Bro, I'm even getting depressed, Charlie. If you don't have any money to get trained in any skill, Charlie, you can't survive in this economy. Even those with big degrees are sitting at home.
There's good news coming. Have you heard of the National Apprenticeship Program?
National Apprenticeship Program?
Yes, John Mahama and the NDC will be launching a National Apprenticeship Program in 2025 to offer free technical and vocational training to all persons desirous of learning a craft.
Did you say free?
Yes, free technical and vocational training in carpentry, ceramics, welding, tiling, hairdressing, vulcanizers, fashion designing, electricals, POP, catering, and many others for young people who sign on to the program. People who complete the training will also be issued a certificate and provided with a startup capital and equipment to establish their own businesses.
Hey, you don't mean it.
You shock, eh? The National Apprenticeship Program is the hope of every unemployed Ghanaian.
Charlie, then we need to kick out these liars and nation wreckers and bring back JM. Cause Sankofa Yenchi.
Vote for change.
Vote for John Dramani Mahama and the NDC.
Charlie, awesome is what you see and appreciate. Switch to Samsung Galaxy A06 fast and enjoy vibrant and expanded display. Buy them now from authorized shops.
The Association of Ghana Industries, in collaboration with the Ministry of Trade and Industry and the Ghana Standards Authority, presents the 13th AGI Ghana Industry and Quality Awards. Theme: Navigating the Uncertainties of our Business Landscape to Sustain Productivity. Date: Wednesday, 20th November 2024. Time: 6 p.m. at the Accra International Conference Center. Major sponsors: GASM, GCB Bank, Softcare FM Manufacturing Company, Goyle, Promasidor, Petrosol, Wilmar Africa, Olam Agri, Activa International Insurance, Ghana Gas Company, Rona Motors, P5 Plus, GB Foods. Co-sponsors: Coca-Cola, Guinness Ghana Breweries, Accra Brewery Limited, Arcadia Industries, ATL, Casapreco, Sleek Garments. For tickets, please call 024-449-9101. Be part of this excitement.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation. The Citi Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
$7:35. Few quick happy birthday greetings. Happy 7th birthday to Ain Maya Jwabingsewa Mante of Aves International Academy Community 25. You're a real gem, and on this day we pray that God will continually guide and order your steps aright. May God give you or bless you in knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Grow in confidence and favor. With lots of love from your parents, Johnny and Ivy, your siblings, Orson, Imogen, Tyrese, Avant, and you officially. Ivy's names are just amazing. Orson, Imogen, Tyrese, Avant, and Yofi. And this is to Ain Maya Dwabin Sewa. And happy birthday to Mr. Prince Boating JB of Astrotef Ghana. God richly bless you as you age in his glory. From your wife Elizabeth Owusu Daku JB and your children Papa and Chief, all in the US. A big thank you to Frederick Pobi of the Greater Accra Regional Hospital, and also to the VIP nurse and midwives at level 3, Agi Comfort and Techua Grace. Grateful for the love and care. God richly bless you for your hard work. This is to the workers of the Greater Accra Regional Hospital, Frederick Pobi and his team of midwives. A few more coming through. Happy birthday to Venda Owusua Bekwin of the Audit Department, Deloitte, and Esther Osei of the Strategic Advisory Department, from your country managing partner, Daniel Kojo Usu, and all staff of Deloitte. And to my husband, Mr. Samuel Kwesi Abuaji of PMMC East Legon, on this special day, I would like to let you know once again just how special you are in my life. I pray that the Lord blesses you with a happy and fulfilling life. We love you, from your wife, Faustina Abuaji, to the husband, Samuel Kwesi Abuaji. And to Gloria Ohima Efua Efedate, Lekma Polyclinic Nungwa Adogono, happy birthday to you.
And let me say happy birthday to Vikabo Tego, aka Vikabo Tagoe. Your leadership, expertise, and kindness inspire us daily. We celebrate your dedication to safety and security and your ability to bring out the best in our team. Wishing you a year filled with joy, prosperity, and success. Cheers to an amazing general manager and an extraordinary person leading O5 Fire and Security. Bless you. This is coming in from your staff at OSU, your family, and my good self.
So many things happening today. Later this morning, Channel 1 TV will bring you live coverage of an important event that Imani is organizing.
Yes, Bernard, it's called a manifesto.
Okay.
And what Imani does is that they tell you, they measure the feasibility of the manifestos, as has been doing this since 2008.
Yeah.
So a manifesto would then give us, it's looking at all the three major political parties, two major ones plus the Alliance movement.
It's examining the feasibility of their promises.
Fantastic.
And this is going to be live on Channel 1 television at 10.
Yes.
So you're going to be there as the moderator for this event.
Yes, please.
So Caleb will be live with the Imani team, Franklin Kojo and his team. Very important work on the manifesto side. So that's going to be at 10. So those of you who have been wondering about conversations about the manifestos, what are the parties promising, this is going to be a deep dive into manifestos, and Caleb is going to be there.
They'll be looking at the economy, governance, energy and infrastructure, education and social services. You know what Imani does? They will tell you, for this particular policy, we do not think it's feasible for A, B, and C reasons. So it's not just going to be, okay, we thought this, that, but they will tell you, actually question some of the policies.
I think it's very important, because I know, Sky, you've been talking about how promises need to be more responsible.
Yep.
And so I think from the financial side, this is very important work. So somebody promises to do something. At least let's look at the budget cycle and see how feasible it is.
Exactly.
So please tune in at 10 o'clock, Channel 1 Television. Caleb will be live with the team from Imani, a big event from Tank Palace to discuss the manifesto promises from the leading political parties.
Before you go, I when I saw Caleb this morning, I said, Charlie, why have you gone to the Far East? Then you're looking too pumped up, very Charlie.
Yeah.
And I told him that I was suspecting him.
I didn't know that you would be on TV.
I actually think that the Chinese political suit fits better than the regular suit because of our weather.
Yes.
It's formal, but it's not as hot, and it looks very good. So I usually wear a lot of it. Some long sleeve, some short sleeve. I think it was made popular by Mao Zedong. I think Kwame Nkrumah also
and the Nyereres of this world.
Yeah, it's really nice. So it's a blend between the Nigerian kaftan and the Western suit. So they sew the pockets formally, but then they also leave some space for the up and down.
And you easily take someone who's wearing it for a rich man. In my case, it's packaging for the occasion.
No, you are rich in friends. you are rich in good things. You are rich in Christ.
Amen. And of all our presidents, apart from Nkrumah, Mills wore it a lot.
Yes.
You know, his will have some puff.
Shoulder pad.
Very nice.
Correct.
So this is very good, Caleb. Keep it up. So
Thank you,
just
Bernard.
to announce again, at 10 o'clock, we're taking live on Channel 1 Television.
Yeah.
It's called In Manifesto.
Yes, sir.
Very important conversation. For those who are still not sure of what to make of some of the promises and how feasible and trackable they are, that is your program. So tune in at 10 o'clock.
I know my Koliwa.
7:43 Citi Breakfast Show. A couple of quick announcements. IOCO, in collaboration with GES, is organizing its first nationwide essay competition. And this essay competition is for students from Basic 4 to 9 and senior high schools. Now, if you are between Basic 4 to 6, that's Class 4 to Class 6, write a 14-line poem or a sonnet on one of the following topics: human trafficking, cybercrime, or money laundering. If you are between Basic 7 and 9, the topic is how can social media exposure and the threat by cyber criminals affect the Ghanaian child? Word limit 450 to 500 words. And if you're in senior high, discuss the way forward for Ghana on the impact of youth unemployment and organized crime. Or you can also examine human trafficking and its impact on Ghanaian youth and propose solutions to address the issue. They should not be less than 600 words. Now, all entries should be submitted to various sets of schools for onward submission to the Schools and Instructions Division of the Ghana Education Service or IOCO via ioko@ioko.gov.gh. You may also call or WhatsApp 057-970-9077. MSMEs, GIZ is doing something great. Join us for the Greater Accra Region Network on Entrepreneurship Development Promotion Conference on the theme Sustainable Solutions for Enterprise Development and Employment Promotion, the role of stakeholders. Now, this two-day event will have hands-on workshops, expert talks, and inspiring success stories from local entrepreneurs. Now, if you're an MSME, register now to showcase your business for free. It's on the 12th and 13th of November at the Kofi Ohene Konedu Hall, UPSA, Accra, from 9:30 a.m. You may call Bernice on 0244-311-409 for more information.
Now to all female entrepreneurs, agribusiness owners, and young entrepreneurs out there, we see you. We understand the challenges you face. Your story matters, and we are here to support you every step of the way. In partnership with the MasterCard Foundation, ABSA is offering SME loans at an unbelievable 10% interest rate per annum. Imagine access to up to 1 million Ghana cedis completely collateral free. This isn't just talk. We already disbursed over 600 million Ghana cedis, supporting over 1,600 businesses. Proud to say that 67.3% of our beneficiaries are women-owned enterprises. So your success is our success. If you're ready to write the next chapter of your story, visit our SME project office nearest ABSA branch or absa.com.gh. Your story matters, ABSA. Now, if you're looking for litigation-free land, contact Royal Kingdom Estate. We specialize in land acquisition, construction, design, property management, and more. With properties in prime areas like Accra and Ebri, with land starting at 90,000 Ghana cedis. We offer flexible payment plans, affordable homes ranging from 2 bedrooms and premium furnished apartments for rental, short rentals in East Airport. Visit us at Cantonment, opposite Soul Clinic International School, or call 055-755-5909 or 027-277-8880. Send us an email, info@Royal Kingdom Estate. Royal Kingdom Estate, building communities, nurturing dreams.
Now, where are you going? Where are you headed? Are you going to the mall to buy something? Are you buying fuel for your car? Or you're even going out to have a meal with your friends and family. Whatever it is you are doing, do it with the SG Visa card, because it's your best option to make payments for goods and services online or anywhere with a POS. Find out more by calling 0302-214-314. SG Ghana, the future is you. Now, if waking up this morning, you notice that all is not well in your throat. It's aching, it's sore, you have nasal congestion, you want quick relief. I recommend Lozati lozenges, a 100% natural and refreshing throat lozenge with 7 different pleasant tasting flavors. That's what you need to give yourself some great relief, make you breathe well, and so you'll be fine. Lozati lozenges for the quick relief you need, and it's available in all Unicom outlets. Lozati lozenges, 30-second instant relief from sore throat, and this ad is FDA approved. Let's talk about the Affinity app, the app that allows you to do some good banking without the hidden charges, 0 fees, no monthly fees, no transaction fees. Imagine banking when you don't have to keep an eye on all those extra charges coming in. If it is something that you are interested in and you love to be part of, dial *229# to get the app, or check out affinityghana.com. With Affinity, you're not just banking, you're in.
Another important birthday to announce, and
yes,
this is who?
Today is the 60th birthday of the man most Ghanaians hold to be the greatest footballer this country has ever produced.
Okay.
Bidiayu Pele.
The maestro.
He's 60 years old.
Yes, a 3-time African Footballer of the Year.
Wow.
AFCON winner. On all kinds of things, puts Ghana on the map internationally,
Champions
and
League
has given us sons who have also put Ghana on the map.
He's done his bit.
An incredible personality, an incredible ambassador of Ghana, an incredible representation of Ghanaian excellence.
I'm telling you,
Abidi Ayu Pele 1060. So happy birthday from all of us here. Fifi Taki, please, wherever the party is, invite all of us. Leave the rest.
Is there a stadium named after him yet?
No. Yesterday somebody said
but there's a roundabout
in Tamale.
Come on.
You see, that's
a roundabout.
Tamale.
Roundabout.
Named after Abidi
Pele. Abidi Pele roundabout.
In Tamale.
Charlie, stop. If you have to do, if all you get after what Abidi has done is a roundabout.
That's all right.
But does not do it.
I mean, I can get a roundabout in an estate in Adenta if I want to push a roundabout. Come on, guys, let's do better.
One more birthday dedication going out to Selom Edward Egbenya. Selom Edward Egbenya. This certainly must be coming in from
Paulus.
Paulus, your father, Paulus, who is celebrating you today for all the great things that you grow up to become. Reach the zenith of life. Bernard, to add quickly, yesterday we were talking about how to celebrate Ghanaians and all of that. Today I saw a story. We couldn't get to it. It was a story from the Ministry of Tourism, talking about the Ministry of Tourism setting up a hall of fame for the creative people. So the people within the creative space. Yeah. So the likes of Papa Youngson and co. Their names
very
important. Very, very, very important. I thought I should draw it to you.
I'll get there. Let me take you quickly to the US. I had a chat earlier with Patsy Vidakuswara, who is the bureau chief of UA for the White House, and asked her to set the scene for the election for me. Let's hear quickly some of the things she said about the election. She says it's a very tight election, and she also outlined the key issues.
Set the scene for us. What's happening in the US a few hours to voting?
So in the US, there's not really one election day. I mean, there is an election day on Tuesday, but election has already started in some sense because there's a lot of early voting and also mail-in ballots. If you're asking me about the mood of the nation, I can say a couple of things. Right now, I think most people are anxious and they are anxious for a couple of reasons. One reason is because it is so very tight between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris right now. All the polls suggest, one is either up by 1 or 2 points, and then the other is less by 1 or 2 points. So it's very, very close almost everywhere, especially in what's called the battleground states, swing states. These are 7 states out of the 50 U.S. states where it's very competitive, where past election results have shown that it could either go Democrats or Republican, and the result has always been within 3%. So those are the states that the candidates are focusing on. Right now, Kamala Harris is just crisscrossing across Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is one of the key battleground states with the majority of, or with the most electoral votes. And we can talk about that later on, because one thing that I can tell you is that election system in the U.S. is very, very complicated. So that's one reason people are nervous, because it's so tight. And the other reason is there's also concern about election fraud. There's concern about potential for election violence. And also the fact that there may not be a peaceful transfer of power because one candidate may not accept the election. So we can talk about all of that. Whatever you want to ask me next, Bernard.
Wonderful. So you said there are 7 swing or battleground states. Which are they, and how close is the race in those battleground states?
There are 7 battleground states, and they are Nevada, Arizona, Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Georgia. And in the past, presidential races have either gone to a Democratic candidate or Republican candidate in these states by less than 3%. So it's very, very competitive. And one thing to understand that in the U.S., it's not one person, one vote the way it is in many parts of the world, including maybe in Ghana. But it is through what's called an electoral college system. So basically, when I go in to vote on my ballot, I see for presidential candidates Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. But in reality, what I will be doing is not voting for them directly, but for electors who will cast their votes according to their pledged candidates. And so each state out of the 50 U.S. states has a number of electoral college votes assigned to them, largely based on their population. And Pennsylvania has the most electoral college votes out of them all, that is 19. Total in the United States, there's 538. So each candidate to win must secure at least 270 electoral college votes. This is all very complicated, and in each state has different rules and regulations about who can vote, when they can vote, whether early mail-in votes, how are they allowed, and when the voting places close. And so if we think about it, it's not like one election the way it's normally done in most countries, because the U.S. is a federal system. Think about it as 50 elections going on in parallel, and they all have very different rules.
Are there similar issues in Ghana? It's jobs, it's the economy, and maybe education. Are there 50 different issues, or there are some key issues driving this election in the U.S.?
There are definitely key issues driving all of them, because, the main concern for American voters, no matter where they are the economy and also immigration. And for this year particularly is the issue of the right to abortion. So right now, Donald Trump is polling so much better in terms of the economy. He's really honing in on this idea that inflation was low under his administration, and under Joe Biden, inflation was high. Of course, he would not accept the explanation, or his supporters would not accept the explanation that under Joe Biden, inflation was high because it was COVID and then post-COVID, right? So actually, inflation is getting as low as it was before the pandemic. Right now, it's about 2.2%, as I last recall the number. So it's quite low, but still, Americans are feeling that the prices are too high, and Donald Trump is all but too keen to jump in on this message. Immigration, also another key issue that he is using a lot in terms of saying that the borders are too wide under Biden. Biden's allowing all these illegal immigrants in, and that's also another key concern, especially for his supporters. For Harris, the issue is the women's right to abortion. So recently in the U.S., there's been this decision overturned by the Supreme Court. 3 of them were picked by Donald Trump. These are conservative judges who overturned what's called Roe v. Wade. This is our constitutional protection to the right of abortion. And so right now, abortion, the right to have an abortion is, sort of in legal limbo. Many states have enacted very, very strict restrictions on abortion, including not allowing in certain very conservative states exceptions in the life of the mother and or medical emergencies or even rape or incest. So this is an issue that's very much motivating women, very much motivating progressives and Democratic supporters. So we'll see out of these three issues, three top issues right now in this election, we'll see which one of them drives more voters to the polling station.
It is reported that there is a gender divide generally in the leaning of support. Can you talk a bit about that?
Absolutely. As I mentioned, women are very concerned about this issue of abortion. They're also concerned about some of the comments that Donald Trump and his circle have made that are considered misogynist or sexist or racist. And women are in general not very approving of those kind of behavior from candidate Donald Trump. So definitely a lot more women supporting Kamala Harris, while Trump has been making a lot more inroads with male supporters, including Black males and then Black, Latino, Hispanic supporters. Definitely gender divide. And, women traditionally have been the more reliable voters we see in the past elections. That is usually women who are voting more than men. We'll see whether Donald Trump can motivate men enough to get him through to the finish line for the White House.
And final two questions, and thank you for staying with us. Is there a real chance that either side could say they wouldn't accept defeat? This usually happens in countries where democracies are not that entrenched, but it appears that for the first time, there's a serious concern that beyond even the court, either candidate may refuse the outcome depending on how it goes. Can you comment a bit about that?
Kamala Harris has already given her commitment that she will accept the election result. Donald Trump has not. He has been asked repeatedly whether he will accept this, and he will say that he will only accept the election result if they are fair. So right now, the message or the narrative that's going through to his supporters is that the only way that Donald Trump can lose is if the election is rigged. So that is the mindset. That is the narrative that has been sold to his supporters. What is also happening now is that the Trump campaign has been mobilizing people to become like these sort of like election integrity watch. So they will come to polling stations and sort of look at or question the processes and perhaps, throw some sort of sand into the gear of the election certification process. Now, that is a real concern because where election works, as I mentioned earlier, each state has a different rule. But in principle, the elections are certified by county. There's about 10,000 counties in the U.S. Each one of those counties or precincts will certify the election. Normally, it's certified by a group of people, Democrats and Republicans, county officials, and they just certify as a pro forma activity. But recently, in the past months, there's been more and more movement from the Trump campaign to empower these certification officials to not only just be the pro forma certification officials, but also to question and to investigate and to say that they will not certify the election unless they can be satisfied that the process is fair and square. So they are anticipating a lot of legal issues after the election related to certification. There's also some concern about political violence. In 2020, this had already happened. Some people who are motivated by misinformation and disinformation swarming into these polling stations and counting stations, demanding for the vote to stop the count because they feel like it's rigged. So hopefully none of that happens in 2024, but there's certainly a big fear that it.
My final question is this. You've covered the U.S. quite a bit. You were corresponding, you are now the bureau chief, so you've seen a few elections. Is this the closest, by way of the polls, that you've seen? And how close are these elections?
I've covered the U.S. election since 2003, so 21 years now. And yes, this has been the closest election that I have covered in terms of polling. It is also the most polarized, the most divisive, the most vitriolic, the most, just like a lot of craziness happening in this past election cycle. If you think about it, Donald Trump was indicted with 34 counts of felony, and then Joe Biden dropped out of the race, and then Kamala Harris, kind of like a whirlwind campaign in about 3.5 months. And now we have the situation where it's really down to the wire. It is, plus 1% or minus 1% everywhere. Well, unless in, everywhere, particularly in the battleground states. And I think there's really a huge concern about post-election violence, post-election disturbance. Just to give you an idea, all the political journalists that I know of have been trained in hostile environment training. This is the kind of training that they send war correspondents to. That is the level of anxiety and concern that people are facing right now. Certainly being faced by voters, certainly by analysts, but both of the campaigns are projecting optimism, saying that they will become the winner, and we'll see. I don't think the results will come out tomorrow, but maybe it will. Who knows? If we remember, in 2020, it took until the Saturday after the Tuesday to actually have the final result. So we'll keep on posting you with the results.
Yes, and throughout the next couple of days, we'll be hearing from correspondents from the VOA on our platforms. Patsy is the bureau chief for the White House, so she covers White House, and she's been telling us some very interesting things about the election. So it's economy, immigration, abortion are the key issues for the election, and she says it's the closest election, also the most vitriolic and the most divisive election she's covered. And this is somebody who's done this for 21 years. 802 Tech and Social Media Trends next, brought to us by?
It's brought to us by First Bank and Telecel. We've got exciting news. Join us at selected branches from now till Friday, November 8, 2024 at our SME Fair and get incredible discounts on toiletries, provisions, clothing, and drinks. From yesterday, Monday, November 4 till Friday, November 8, the First Bank SME Fair moves to the Santa Maria branch, Blue Kiosk Junction. Tema Community 1 branch will be near the Community 1 Market Square. At Spintex 1 branch, we are near the Allied Oil Filling Station, and Dansuman branch near the market over there. Visit any of these branches and enjoy free eye screening and coconut while you shop. For inquiries, call 0531 072 643. First Bank, you first. And Telecel says the more money promo just got extended for extra 2 months, giving you even more chances to win big. 4 lucky winners go home with 30,000 Ghana cedis every week as a grand prize of $1 million up for grabs. Keep purchasing data or airtime, reload data on your fixed broadband to get closer to becoming a millionaire. The more you reload, the better your chances of winning. Don't miss out. Dial *500#. Send WIN to 500. Visit the Telecel Play app to opt in for free. T's and C's apply. As a promo that's regulated on the Caritas Lottery platform. Telecel, connecting energies.
Time for Tech and Social Media Trends. Nathan Kwao has the trends for the morning. Nathan.
Yeah, let's get into the trends. You mentioned the US election. Well, it's in the trends actually. Hashtag US election 2024. They are related hashtags to hashtag vote Trump is here. And then you also have related themes in the trends.
This is Ghana trends, right?
Yes. Ghana trends.
So vote. Does that suggest that more people are voting Trump than Kamala in Ghana?
I really cannot see. Somehow it's appeared on.
So vote Trump is.
Yes, and then hashtag US election 2024. For some reason, I thought it was the 7th of November. I guess I'm thinking of the Ghana election.
Usually it is 7th, but today is 5th. Yeah, you're right. Usually 7th November.
Yes, but it happens to be the 5th of November. Okay, let's get into other things. And I think between yesterday and now, there's only been one thing that has dominated the trends all over, right? And I'll mention their related themes. So Equatorial Guinea, King Solomon, over 400, and the name Balthasar in Gonga.
Balthasar. Sounds like Nebuchadnezzar's nephew.
Balthasar in Gonga. Now, why is Balthasar in Gonga trending? Now, this is a gentleman in Equatorial Guinea who all of a sudden has allegedly gained levels of notoriety. Now, he is, according to reports, the Director General of Equatorial Guinea's National Financial Investigation Agency, or ANIF. If you look at the Spanish acronym, that's how they write it, ANIF. So equivalent of Yoko. Very good. Now, yes, according to reports, he has found himself at the center of attention following a scandal that has rocked the nation. Now, some videos yesterday emerged on social media. Some counts have placed those videos to about 400 of this gentleman allegedly misconducting himself with some women in these said videos. Now, all of a sudden, it caught fire. 1 tweet, 2 tweets, it caught fire. Some videos have been circulating.
Misconducting himself, saying, like, you have to explain what he's misconducting
I'm
himself.
trying to be very
other
guarded.
people's women.
No,
so
he's
it
probably
makes-
like having sexual relations.
Yes,
with
so
them.
in the said videos, he's allegedly seen having sexual
400
relations with these women, and there are 400 of these videos.
How many people are in Equatorial Guinea?
1.5 million.
Are you serious?
You know, and reportedly, some of these women are spouses of ministers, government officials,
sister of the president,
all of that.
Wow.
You know, so
Equatorial Guinea.
Yes.
I thought you covered an AFCON day.
Oh,
You know the place.
I know it well, not just covered.
Do you know
I've
this
been
guy?
there.
Do you know? Is this a real person? Do you know this guy?
I don't know this guy, but the name sounds legit.
Balthazar what?
Allah,
Ngonga. Balthazar Ebang Ngonga Alu.
It means it must be causing commotion. I mean, if it's trending in Ghana, that means that
Look, you know my favorite part about this? They catch the guy the way he quotes. He said John 8:7.
He quoted the Bible.
John 8.
That's what.
He says that well, if you know sin before, no throw the first to that verse.
Wow. So Equatorial Guinea is trending.
Yeah, heavily. No, it's not only in Ghana, it's all over
The continent. Wow.
All over.
So why?
But how did the video come out?
So
Or videos?
So according to
Lord.
according to reports, he was under investigation. Okay, he's been the allegations of financial misconduct and embezzlement
already.
So in the bid to find
troubles,
more,
one God.
they found these videos allegedly on his home computer.
In investigating the financial
Yes.
crimes. Okay.
So they
Oh
found
my
these
God.
videos on his home computer, and these videos have somehow made their way to
Lord.
phones and networks all over Africa.
The integrity of the investigation process
Has been compromised.
Yeah.
You know.
Wow.
And-
So he's under investigation.
Yes,
It's already
and,
now. Oh,
yes,
gosh.
and Godfred, you were giving us an update that there's a word from the vice president saying that there
So
will
he's
be
been
a
sanctioned or what?
crackdown on
Yes,
his
yes.
conduct.
It says, they must protect the moral integrity of these institutions, which is rich.
It's called Balthazar.
Coming from that particular vice president, Teodoro.
Oh wow!
Why was the office part of the theater he was using?
Yeah, yes.
That was the main theater.
Yes.
About Sky, why did
All right, so there's still so that's trending.
So that's it's the hottest
over.
thing. I'm telling you, it's
Is
the
this
hottest.
but this is Twitter, right?
Yes, yeah. Other things that are trending, for example, Shatawale is trending. Black Sheriff. Yesterday, I think they had a Twitter space. I'm not sure. And then Shatawale, we were saying a few things. So people, but it's Balthazar and Ngonga who's really, really trending.
Those of you who are sending us the videos, please, we beg.
Let's do tech news quickly.
Now, remember last week I gave you a story from Florida. It was of a woman who was suing this AI platform.
Yes.
If you go to France, several families are suing TikTok, and they are accusing the platform of exposing their adolescent children to harmful content that led to 2 of them taking their own lives at age 15. Okay, now the lawsuit is alleging that TikTok's algorithm exposed 7 teenagers to videos promoting suicide, self-harm, and eating disorders. That's coming from a lawyer named Laure Boutron-Mamion, and she told France Info. Now, the families are taking joint legal action in the Créteil Judicial Court, and they said, according to the lawyer, it's the first of such a group case in Europe. So it looks like in the last year or so, or last 2 years, people are now beginning to file legal processes against these social media platforms for the contents they put out, and regulatory bodies in Europe and the West are beginning to think a bit more about what they can do to rein some of these platforms in and regulate the content so children especially are not harmed.
And quick information, the election in the US is determined by the Tuesday next after the first Monday. So it's almost like after the first Monday of November, the Tuesday after that is the election. So it's been falling on 7 for a while, but it's now the 5th. That was tech and social media trends.
You're looking for a bank to rely on? Let me give you a shoulder to lie on. Wouldn't we sick out to banky baby? No lie, only one place where I get my eye on. Make I introduce you all to First Bank, the best services in the world, first rank. Customer service, everything is well planned. I make music, I travel, I sell land. They be my reserve 10. Cause every time I know my money's safe, universal banking it in me here the date. I'm a busy person, me no need time to wait. Now I got to Spain even when I'm in the States. My me blue shirt. They tell me office a chilly, but who cares? Cause I bank with the best. I'm lucky, I'm too blessed. When it comes to First Bank, it's too west. Everything is you first. Woo!
Nobody feed you, I'm like us. First Bank, we treat you first. Treat you first. Think about you first. Think about you first.
You first. First Bank.
Kind of way, tell us how the more money promo now,
Everybody likes money, but what do we like more than money? More money! Join the Telecel More Money promo and win money, more money, and even more money. Simply opt in for free and reload your mobile and broadband and be the lucky winner of the 1 million Ghana Cedis grand prize. Also win cash prizes of up to 3 million Ghana Cedis in the daily and weekly draws. Opt in for free by dialing *500# or send WIN to 500, or you can opt in on the Telecel Play app. The more you reload, the higher chances of winning in the Telecel More Money promo. Keep loading, win, and be a millionaire.
Telecel. Connecting energies.
Terms and conditions apply. This promo is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas Lottery platform.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
Christmas is in the air, and it all starts at Electrum. Get amazing gift vouchers with 5,000 Ghana cedis, plus incredible discount of up to 60% on all your favorite electronics, from smart TVs to washing machines, refrigerators, mobiles, laptops, and more. Get the best deals on all big brands like LG, Brew, Samsung, Panasonic, Sony, Philips, Orient, Infinix, Tecno, Xiaomi, and many more. Call or WhatsApp us on 0552 777 905. Celebrate Christmas full with goodies only at Electromat, your world of electronics.
Channel 1 TV is live on DSTV, GoTV, and HD+. On DSTV, find us on Channel 363. On GoTV, we're on Channel 117. And on HD+, get us on Channel 108. On a digital TV, run a new search. But take note that without an antenna, you cannot access Channel 1 TV. Channel 1 TV can be accessed on any free-to-air digital box, like the DSTV and HD+ boxes. Channel 1 TV, telling your story, empowering change.
To stay on point. Toast to spread it, it's still on point. Watch it spread it all day long. Still on point, yes, it's still on point. It's still on point. Watch it spread, it's still on point. For your bread, it's still on point. For your toast, it's still on point. It's yummy, delicious. It's still on point. Still on point, yes, it's still on point. It's still on point. Still on point, yes, it's still on point. It's still on point. For your toast. It's still on point. It's still on point. Fortune spread. It's yummy, delicious. It's still on point.
Fortune spread. Delicious, creamy, and always on point. This advert is FDA approved.
Ifya, I've been thinking. Have you noticed the changes in our community?
Kojo, things are really different now. The MPP has really made a difference.
Exactly. Free SHS, healthcare, new factories. It's like a whole new Ghana.
And don't forget, electricity is so much reliable now. I remember when we used to go days without light.
True. The NPP has done a lot to improve the basics.
Ajua is a beneficiary of free SHS, and now she is in university.
And that's the kind of leadership we need. Someone who is focused on making things better for everyone. But Ifya, still there are a lot more to be done for the development of Ghana.
Absolutely, Kojo. The NPP has shown that real progress is possible.
On December 7th, let's vote to keep this positive impact going. Vote number 1 on the ballot. Vote NPP for a better and prosperous Ghana.
Light off. No problem. Experience 2 days battery power with the Samsung Galaxy A06. Switch to awesome.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Unleashing the power of relevant radio. This is Citi 97.3.
Despite this is in, of course, because of dry spell. We'll deal with that shortly. But one of the things that fascinates me is the way people comment about the U.S. elections with such emotion. So yesterday I interviewed Dr. Echetikanku, who's not really, he doesn't care much for Trump, right? So he was basically speaking his mind about Trump, and he got a bit of
pushback.
Yes, like Charlie, he's biased, fake news kind of thing. So
oh really?
Yeah, like people are like, he's not, I mean, of course it's just their view, but my point is how people emotionally get into the US election. I mean, it's a big election, so we can understand that, but I thought it's more like watching a match between two teams, then your team is not in the final, so it shouldn't be that. But I feel like in Ghana people take it very seriously on both sides, and I don't know whether it's because the US is that important, there are relatives there, or where the US goes, we all go. I'm not sure what it is, or whether it's because of the power of the media.
Yes, it is.
So it's become something that globally everybody watches with keen interest.
For different reasons.
Yeah, but there's a difference between interest and then involvement. I'm interested in the match between Chelsea and Man U. Because I want to see them play goalless, but not because I really care for who wins. But for some, it's more like if Trump doesn't win, they've cheated him, or if Kamala has to win, otherwise the world is going the wrong direction. I mean, do you understand that?
Yeah, but do you remember the election between Bush and Gore?
2000.
Yes.
Yes, the first 2000 election.
The Florida one.
You know how people were. It was basically the same here. If you remember,
I was in the university.
Yes,
I was about to get to university.
Yes, if you remember, people, it was the controversy and what it meant.
Yeah.
Then,
of course, because Clinton had come to Ghana in '98.
You know,
and we're following US more closely
at the time.
And Al Gore was very much liked. And Bush was the son of the other Bush.
You would think that the loss was Ghanaian. You know, there was a significant dislike for Bush in this country at the time.
People seem to prefer Gore then.
Gore to him. You know, people were very emotionally attached. So I guess it's how we process these things. But with this particular one, how I see it, I see it in pretty similar terms. I think the interest, of course, is built on the personalities. Of course, especially Donald Trump, who is looking to get back into the White Office. He seems to resonate with a lot of people, also because he's been a public figure for almost his entire life. And for a lot of people in this space who have the sophistication to comprehend the US election, they would have been exposed to Donald Trump for a very, very long time. Either through WWE, either through The Apprentice, through articles.
So he's always been in the US system.
No, he's not the US system. He's been in our system as media consumers,
right.
as pop culture consumers.
Yeah.
You know, so he's somebody a lot of people know and identify with. And then the push into politics, mainstream politics, gave him that extra. So even before he went there are a lot of Ghanaians who would feel like, oh, I know this guy.
Yeah.
I know this guy.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a good, you know, and then it then also becomes a matter of his values, which a lot of people seem to identify with.
Yeah. Is it more his values or the fact that how do I even put this? So somehow they pardon his excesses because they feel he can champion their cause. Do you understand? So it's not more like his personal values necessarily. They say, oh, Trump in power will not promote LGBTQ.
But I find it contradictory.
So they are not necessarily talking about Trump's history or the fact that his wife thinks abortion is okay. But under Trump, this will not happen. That's the way they see it. So it's more like Trump is the guy who will not allow this type of thing to happen. More so than.
But that's what I'm saying.
He's not a paragon of purity. No, but he's the guy who will under whose what such quote unquote nonsense will not happen.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That he's a reflection of what we think are our values.
Exactly.
You understand? So we will overlook. Most people will overlook his excesses.
Yeah.
So long as he keeps the same values that we share. So,
but is that a Trump problem or an African problem?
I think.
And by the way, let me ask people what they think, who they think. Okay, not even who they think, who they want to win and why.
Yeah.
Let me make it more interesting.
There's one here.
Hold on, I just want to make it clear. So if you're listening, I just want to know, my listeners today, the US is voting. Do you prefer Trump or Harris, and why?
Okay.
All right, you can send me a voice note. I'd like to know why you prefer Harris or why you prefer Trump, and why. Yeah, so 054-998-6996. You can send me a WhatsApp message as well, or send me a voice and say, okay, my name is Kofi Mensah. I prefer this person because of this. We did that for the Ghana election. Yeah. But today I want you to tell me who you prefer and why.
But so how long should a voice note be?
A minute maximum.
Okay.
I mean, it shouldn't be too long, right? Yeah. So your point is that people see Trump.
People see Trump as, oh, we don't like these things here. He doesn't like those things. He is in a position where he can prevent those things from happening here. So that's our guy.
So it means that US is so powerful that if US supports something, it inevitably comes true. So if US says abortion is legal, people feel like the rest of the world takes a cue from the US. If US allows certain things, a lot of countries take a cue from the US.
Yeah, but until the recent Supreme Court decision, Roe v. Wade had been in existence since the 60s. How had it affected us here? It had no impact on us.
So why? So the question is, why are people so fixated with it now that?
No, I don't think people are fixated with it here as much as people are fixated with it there.
Okay.
I think the core one, of course, is the LGBTQI, and also the conservative Christian that he is, and the fact that a lot of us practice conservative Christianity here. And
but is Trump a conservative Christian?
The way people consume him, yes, that is how he would be considered. That's why I spoke about values.
So that's more of what he represents than what he is.
Yes, which is why I say I find it contradictory because there is no Christian home in Ghana from where I come from, where Trump will be used as an example of proper upbringing. Show me one.
And yet,
in that same household, they will tell you that Kwawe Christoni because Osioma LGBTQ and Ghana.
Or he's the one God has chosen. So it's not more like Oye Christoni, but he's the one God will use
to prevent those things. But in the same household, nobody will tell you that he's raising his son or daughter to be like Trump. It will not happen. So actually, I just find it contradictory. It's interesting.
No, hold on. Actually, don't go there. I think if you look at his success in business, his transit into politics, not everybody has all the details about some of the specific charges against him.
No, not even
so
that.
Generally speaking, he's seen as a strong, firm leader. Indeed, one of the reasons why some people think he would win is that they say the world needs a strong leader in an era of uncertainty.
I disagree.
He's seen as a strong leader. So if you say a lot of families may not use him as a, maybe on the moral side, no. But in terms of business success and in terms of his resilience, he's been shot twice, still standing. He's transitioned from business to politics effectively. He's pledged to take on the system. A lot of people don't like Washington. He's seen as an outsider who's going to take on establishment. A lot of people who feel frustrated with the establishment need a champion. I mean, if it wasn't for our constituencies are different, but yesterday some people said they'll vote for Cheddar. Why? They are tired of establishment. They are tired of NDC, MPP, and they want a hero.
Yes.
Cheddar may not be as electable for them, but if you find somebody who's electable, who has money, who has visibility, who can take on the system and drain the swamp, there are a lot of people who take a chance on such a person. In addition to the Christian and all those things.
No, but that's the point I'm making. I'm not looking at this as an American. I
Okay.
can't look at it as an American.
Okay.
I'm looking at this from where I come from, which is Ghana, and why there's a certain interest, a significant interest in the personality of Trump.
Mhm.
And I'm saying that people find significant avenues to align with Trump and identify with him.
Mhm.
And very few of them will point at what you pointed at, the strength in business, his resilience. No, most of them will point to you at what they see as his moral. Oh,
The
yes.
first time I heard of Trump was when
Uh-huh.
they spoke about him as a business mogul who's built houses, Trump
Mm-hmm.
Towers, and there was a couple of quotes attributed to him in the art of the deal.
Yes, but you were
that was
not
the first time I heard of Trump.
Yes, but you were not looking at him at that time as a potential U.S. president who would influence foreign policy.
And then the next time I saw him was in The Apprentice, and I was like, I like the way he sort of engages with the.
Because
it was a nice show.
Yes, everybody likes that
nice
because
show,
that is his space. You don't become as successful as he is without knowing a thing or
Do you
two.
think a lot of Africans read between the lines around the specificity of the 38 charges against him?
No.
So the point is,
That's what
a
I'm
lot
saying,
of
that-
people don't know that level of.
Yeah, but that's the point I'm making to you, that is why those things don't matter. That's why I'm saying that for a lot of Africans on this side, I think that I can't speak for everybody, but from where I sit, the identification with Trump is value-based, simply based on what he stands for, one. Two, the fact that he's very tough-speaking, represents a man the way most Africans conceptualize a man.
Yes.
So
dominant.
He's very dominant.
Bully.
He's firm. Speaks his mind.
Yeah.
Sometimes even to the point of being vulgar.
Yes.
He's very unapologetic about
Yeah.
who he is.
Yeah.
In most of our cultural settings,
That's
that is
how
how
a man is
that is
supposed
how
to
a
be.
man is supposed to be.
Yeah.
So you look at him and say, yes, this is the guy.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
He's not soft. He's not very apologetic.
Yeah.
And says, okay, we don't like this. We don't like this. We don't like this. We don't. He will push it. He's firm.
I get you.
So in a lot of ways, he's very representative of our fathers, our uncles, our big brothers. So it's very easy.
So it's in a sense,
to identify.
support for Trump reflects our own values. The people, okay, basically not even Trump. Whoever you support is more a reflection of what you value or what you like.
Yes, because something must link you to the personality. Okay. Why do you think that?
But some people also see him as a victim of media attacks. A lot of people feel like the media is unfair to him, and the liberal media in the West is on an agenda to destroy him. So there's a certain victim mentality that some of his supporters have. And again, the fact that he's been shot twice and survived it. So it's whilst the bully side and the big man, strong guy side is true, there are some people who also feel like somebody taking on a system, and the liberal Western media have done everything possible to destroy this guy, but he's still standing. Right? So it also endears him to people.
Yes.
In addition to the fact that he's Catholic, he doesn't like abortion, and he doesn't care much about LGBTQ, so he's not going to push it. Now let's go to the counterfactual. Kamala. Woman, not just woman.
Mixed race,
Caribbean, Indian. She doesn't have kids, and she's married though. There's a lot of, in fact, even Hillary faced that as a woman. So there's a lot of men who voted for Trump because I'm told that a lot of Americans couldn't stand Hillary for whatever reason. All right, and I'm not sure if comparing it to Hillary is even the same, but there's a certain view about her and what the feminist movement has become. So some people feel like, so a lot of the support for Trump may not even be for Trump. But
Exactly.
It's like men feel under attack. There's a whole article I read yesterday where they took some black celebrities to a bar to talk about how men feel under attack because they describe manhood as toxic masculinity, and women are coming up everywhere, and the man cannot even express his own feelings anymore. And Kamala represents all of that. So whilst she's helping to deal with issues on abortion and things, a lot of men feel under siege, and they're like, what at all have we done that now you want to even add a woman to become our leader?
So again, on this side,
Yeah.
again, because like I said, I can't speak for the Americans. I
Yeah.
can speak for.
So why are people here anti Kamala and some for her?
No, again, it's a reflection of our values. So we have a very progressive generation of
The younger
highly
people.
skilled women, well-educated women who understand their place in society, who are no longer willing to just be homekeepers and say, your job is to stay home and look after Kweku when he comes and cook and sit in the corner. That is not us anymore. Okay, so they also look at Kamala
is their
and look at
a role model.
Yeah, and say, well, this is the kind of women we want to see more of in our society.
Independent.
This is me. Okay,
Great lawyer.
There's that affinity. She's achieved significantly in her career. Has not necessarily tied her success around having children, although she's a family woman because she's married and does look after her husband's kids. Okay, so she's still a family woman, but in a society where we still heavily gauge women by marriage and the number and their capacity to have children. Okay, so they look at Kamala in that instance and then say, okay, this is somebody that I can also identify with. So you realize that the conversation, depending on the circles that you're in, but most of the places, is not really about the politics that they stand for. It's about who they represent in over here. Because if you say you are going to have it will be almost disingenuous to say that as Ghanaians we are going to have a very serious conversation about the political ideas of Kamala or Trump, because it is not our everyday thing.
But what about the immigration issue? Because the clear point about Trump, he campaigns on economy and immigration, and he said he will build a wall, and there's a view that under him it will be much tougher to get to the US. So you would have thought that a lot of Africans want to go to the US, right? You would have thought that they would prefer a Democrat because allegedly they are a bit softer on immigration. I don't know whether the difference is not that nuanced. So isn't it contradictory that people whose chances of getting to the US are, or even immigrants, some immigrants prefer him?
Yes.
Because they say under him the economy was much better.
Yeah.
But he makes it much tougher for people to come into the US. I find that a bit difficult to wrap my mind around.
Yes, well, if we go back to his last term as president, I haven't seen the data yet that indicates that legal applicants to the US, the numbers reduced. You see, legal. I'm choosing my words carefully here. The people who went to the US embassy, I'm thinking they are bouncing the same as they've always bounced. Did they bounce more under Trump and less under Biden?
I thought somebody said there was some restriction. I don't know. I don't have.
No, there were specific. There was the one against Muslim countries.
Okay, that was for Muslim countries.
Yes. Okay, and that tended to affect a lot of Africans. Okay, and also led to a lot of profiling.
I get it.
And also led to just basically a lot of bigotry against people generally. In that regard,
in actual sense, the deportation is probably the same.
But the issue that Trump speaks for is basically the illegal migrants who are flooding the country, and that has been a problem
through the Mexican border,
through that side. Okay, and every country would look at it legitimately and say we have a problem. Even in Africa, there are certain countries where they've taken time and said, look, we have too many illegal immigrants coming in. So I think for most countries, if you have that volume of people entering your country illegally, it puts a strain on your resources. So anybody leader who comes in and says, well, I will stop people from coming in illegally, would gain a certain significant level of support.
The other interesting thing I saw was that college-educated people generally prefer Kamala to Trump in the US.
Yes.
So older people prefer Trump. Younger people seem to prefer Kamala. So basically, there are so many divides. Women to Kamala, men Trump.
Men Trump.
Older
clearly.
Trump, younger Kamala. College-educated Kamala, non-educated
Trump.
Christians Trump.
Yes.
I mean, it's so stark. It's almost like they are the epitomization of two realities.
Yeah.
So, and no wonder it's so close. I will take some comments on this, and I'll take a few views here as well, whether they understand the nuance of the US election. But two quick things to tell you. If you're ready to control your career, then join Absa Ghana's free Ready to Work webinar titled Navigating the Job Market on Thursday, 14 November 2024. You will be live on Absa Bank Ghana's Facebook and YouTube channels at 11 a.m. Learn from experts as they share valuable insights on job searches, developing a winning CV, current interview techniques, and career development. Don't miss this opportunity to gain the skills and knowledge you can to succeed. Your story matters, Absa. And do you want a British degree at a fraction of the cost? Do you want a vibrant student experience in a community that equips you with useful employability, skills, taking you one step closer to the career of your dreams? Enjoy all these and more, plus up to 50% scholarship for your degree at Lancaster University, Ghana. Be taught by the finest faculty trained in the UK, standards at our campus. go to lancaster.edu.gh or email us at admissions@lancaster.edu.gh. Lancaster, the only British university campus in West Africa. So you've helped in shaping this. And by the way, there's a very interesting article on the BBC which is 5 reasons Kamala will win, 5 reasons Trump will win.
Oh, nice.
So basically it's 5-5. They are not sure who's winning. You are sure he's winning. You say you know who's winning. How do you know he's winning?
Well, I've not mentioned anybody.
No, you are so triumphant. You say you
know.
Yeah,
maybe triumphant, but I didn't name anybody as an eventual winner.
If I push you, who will win? If I press you, say Sky, I need to place a bet on who's winning.
No, I won't disclose who I
As the man is leave him alone.
I wouldn't do that because indirectly I'll be accused of interfering with. You
guys like accused of interfering.
I would.
Which of the two do you prefer?
I don't have a preference.
Yes, Christ.
You don't have a preference. What is your problem?
Okay. If I have a vote, who do you advise me to vote for?
If I was advised, I advise you the coziness of your home.
He will tell you to vote with your conscience.
The typical Trump supporter will not do okay, Nathan, do you know why I think Trump will win? This is what I think Trump will win.
Okay, so you are thinking he will win.
I think he will win because the average white American is, based on everything Godfred has said. Okay. The only caveat here is that if younger women go out in their numbers, Kamala stands a chance. But if I look at the swing states, and the fact that a typical Trump supporter will say that I will not say. Meanwhile, the polls are close. This is my view. You see,
so
I always say that Trump, every time Trump is neck to neck with you, he will win. Because in 2016, when we were going to sleep, we knew Hillary was going to win the election. When I woke up, and then I think somebody said, Charlie, the man is. I said, how?
I told you that.
He told me that Trump was one. I said, are you sick? Because that night, before we went to sleep, she had already taken the lead.
Yes.
Okay, so, but the polls, he was slightly behind. Mm-hmm. And usually, the polls were correct until Brexit and then that election. So when he said to me that Trump had won, I was like, how are you sure? How are you serious? Now, the reason I say Trump will win is that the polls are close. And when the polls are close, people don't want to identify with Trump. Because it's not fashionable.
I think now it is.
But
now it is.
Okay, among certain groups.
Now it is.
In the US, the way the media, I mean, if you watch CNN, the CNN is, I mean, it's almost like, Charlie, it's a warning. If this guy wins, retribution, you get it. So a lot of people, maybe you are in your university WhatsApp group, you don't want to say you are Trump necessarily, but now people are saying. So I feel like if it's neck to neck in the race, I think there's a 2 or 3% Trump people who will never tell you to vote for him.
Yes.
But they will. So you need to add that to his 40. You know, and if you add that to his 44, he will pass the woman. You get it? So that's why I have a hunch he would win. But I also feel like the abortion issue and the women are rising.
Let me just.
And Kamala is the bump she got after. So this is what I'll say. If it was Biden, after that debate, Trump was going to win easily. Yes. Kamala has done something.
She managed to swing it.
And the fact that the Obama guys are behind her, and Obama has a machine. So I suspect that it's going to be very, very close. But if I were a betting person, I would say maybe Trump edges it slightly. Yeah, but I won't be surprised if Kamala wins.
Let me just speak to you. You know, Godfrey spoke about Roe v. Wade, and the fact that in his view, it did not impact us here in any way. Just to say that there's a connection between the decision in Roe v. Wade and, to a large extent, our law since the 1960s.
What is Roe v. Wade? Because
so basically, this was a decision of the U.S. Supreme Court, which was brought about by a challenge to a Texan law, which created a very narrow exception for the law that there should not be abortion in the U.S. In Texas. So
it was a law that came out of Texas.
No abortion, except if you are doing the same to save the life of the woman. Just to summarize it, the Supreme Court made a decision that said that, well, there should be a right to privacy, which right should extend to the woman's capacity to determine what happens to her body. And that includes the right to terminate the life of a fetus You understand? During the gestation period, I'm using the word advisedly. It was widely celebrated as liberating women and their right to express themselves whichever way they want.
Yeah.
But people took an exception to it because they thought that, look, it was a matter that should be restricted to the various states, because at this it became a federal matter. You understand? So people thought that, look, I mean, we don't want that kind of thing. Confine it to the state. Let the state decide what they want to do with that. If you mirror that against Ghana, the Ghanaian law, which is
so by the way, so the Roe v. Wade was overturned recently.
Yeah, it was overturned recently.
They were saying that because 3 Trump-appointed judges sat on that, so they sort of blame him in a way for the overturning of Roe v. Wade, which has angered the women. So Kamala obviously doesn't agree with the overturning. Okay, so fair enough.
So in Ghana, the law is provided for under the Act 29, which is the Criminal Offences Act of 1960, and specifically sections 58 and 67 deal with the matter of abortion. So generally, the general rule is that, or the general law is that we don't want abortion here. However, exceptions are created. So, for instance,
incest, rape,
exactly,
and that type of thing, to endanger the life of a woman.
Yeah, where criminal conduct leads to the woman becoming pregnant. Yes.
So those exceptions are there.
Exactly, and then also if an imbecile, and I'm using the word in a very
gets pregnant,
pregnant, you can terminate. And then where the pregnancy can affect the health of the parent or the mother in a very fatal way, in those cases, the doctor is lawfully protected to intervene. So there is that connection. But recently, the U.S. Supreme Court, as you said, overturned the decision. But back to the matter of what I think about the U.S. election. I think, look, the U.S. is a bulwark. It sets precedents for all other countries believing in democracy to follow. That is why it is important that the exercise that they are carrying out today should be one that should send the right signal. We saw what happened in 2020, right? Was it 2020? Yes, 2020 elections. The events leading to the elections and what happened thereafter. The assault on the Capitol and the attempt to actually grab senators and grab congressmen and do whatever they wanted to do with them. I mean, completely unacceptable. Democracy must be that we have all disagreed on a matter. We have all voted to decide where we are going. And the outcome, once free, fair, and transparent, should be acceptable to all. Where there is a disagreement as to whether a vote was properly cast, or that someone fidgeted with the system and all of that, those matters should use the proper channels of litigation and resolution so that there will be a judicial pronouncement as to whether it was right or it was wrong. People taking the law into their own hands cannot be the example that the U.S. should be sending.
So you're advising Americans about
it is very important.
You're a big man.
No. It is
you're advising the U.S.
It's very
about
important.
their election. They should obey. They shouldn't misbehave.
Bernard, you see,
not get a big man.
Exactly, because, the U.S. media...
You have to send donor funds to support them. That's your advice. You can't just advise. So you have to send donor support.
We'll ask the AU to do that. Because, Bernard, you see, for a long time, we have viewed the U.S. media as the gold standard for coverage of,
so the
elections and all of that. But when you look at some of the things coming out of the U.S., the misinformation in many cases, sometimes on prime television, and also in the adverts that the candidates are churning out. You listen to a presentation by a candidate on a campaign platform, and then you listen to how the media is analyzing.
I get it, but who do you support?
I don't have to disclose who I want.
No, who do you think will win?
Who I think will win?
Who are you looking in the bottle? Who do you think, based on the analysis you've done?
I don't want to influence.
Okay, who is in the lead?
I mean, based on all the polls that I have seen, the very, very credible polls, I would not be surprised if Trump wins.
Later, what is? I have some voice notes, by the way. I just want, what's your take on this?
I'm still on the fence, but what I will say is this, and I agree with the assertion you made a few minutes ago. Had this been Joe Biden v. Donald Trump, I guess we'd all have to prepare for, a Trump presidency. What I will say is I think the Democrats gave themselves a chance by bringing in Kamala Harris. Because after that first debate, it was really going away from them.
I even think Donald Trump slowed down for the guy.
Bringing her in
has given them a bump.
But what I will say from an international relations perspective is I think about the US's place in relation to the conflicts, especially in the Middle East. The last year has been really tough in that there's a lot of complexity around what is happening. I think about the candidate who can bring a lot of stability there and ensure that, it probably changes the US foreign policy, right? Because with Trump, when he was president, we saw that it went in a certain direction. Countries that were hitherto quote-unquote taboo countries, or people who would be very hesitant in dealing with the US. Trump was very willing to take that step.
Saudi
to sit
has
with
always
them,
been their friend anyway. But he went to North Korea. And he said China is the enemy.
And then was very cozy with Vladimir Putin. So I think about it and I wonder where the US will go depending on who wins. Because if Trump...
So it means there's more certainty with Kamala.
Well, I wouldn't say so.
Okay.
I wouldn't say so. I just look at it.
Or more continuity.
Probably.
More of the same.
I'm very interested in the kind of foreign policy that the US will take, depending on who wins. But I'm more on the fence because I look at it and say, did I ever think Donald Trump would win the first time? No, but he did win. And that tells you a lot about the mindset of voters.
Okay.
So clearly
you don't want to say who will win.
Yes.
But if I even push you, you won't.
Look, if you push me, looking at the previous experience, I think Trump could win this.
Based on the point that his supporters will not say.
Just because of that fact that people may not say who they will vote for. And then they are more likely to go with him. And then all these variables, like you're saying, young versus old, liberal versus conservative. And then this very interesting stance of black people, because typically you would expect that with Kamala Harris in there, a lot more black people would lean.
She will win the black vote.
Yes,
but they feel like the turnout for black men.
Black men, that's a very critical element. That's a very
the Democrats always in the black vote, but they feel like some of the men
critical element. Yes, some of the very critical element in
but
the mix.
You see, there are issues to raise around. I hate the idea of reducing blocks to this is our World Bank, and so let's you go to the US and you see the conditions of the black people and you ask yourself, for all these years that they keep voting, produce a black president, what has become of their stock? I mean, their fortunes, how are they growing? How are they deteriorating? I mean, they are among the highest number of people in our
Let's hear some of the comments.
So it's important that
Latinos,
and we should also reduce that to our situation back here in the country.
No, but the truth is that voting everywhere is about interest, and a lot of people is identity politics. So even though we don't encourage it, that's how it is. If you draw every electoral map, even your own country, people vote. People only 10% say they vote on ethnicity, but you and I know that if you look at their voting history for the past 6 elections,
it's ethnicity.
If you go to US, they said the middle red, the external wings blue. It's the same everywhere. If you go to Russia, I'm sure if they had the free elections, they would do that. So
Bernard Kwame says your interview with the lady was great, except she resorted to glaring biases in her answers, like many journalists in the US do. You asked her about the key issues, and as she says, she tries to explain why. For example, inflation is getting better under Biden. She talks about abortion and mentions Trump-appointed judges. People really should stop propping their opinions at a standard. This is exactly what's happening in the US.
No. What she did was she gave me the issue and let's be careful. She said Trump is using economy and Kamala is using abortion. And then she says people argue and say this, but this is what Trump supporters say. Right. I just think she was giving the context. Sometimes when people say things, you feel like she's taking sides. I thought she was okay. Anyway, let's go on.
So I participated in early voting in the US on Saturday. The process lasted for less than 3 minutes. My details were verified and I was given a paper to go and shade the box for my preferred candidates. He says Kamala and Tim. Then I scanned the paper through a machine and I was done. Trump is a forbidden fruit. I witnessed his time as president and how hate against immigrants were heightened. My vote is a protest vote against Trump for his hate speeches that I witnessed during his presidency. 3 a.m. gym man in North Carolina. One of the battlegrounds.
Oh, so he's in North Carolina.
Regards to Godfred.
Okay.
Yes,
you know him.
I'll visit him in December.
North Carolina. Okay. Bernard, when a person says I will not reveal my vote, the person is 99% Trump. This is a lot. He said, Bernard, I put it to you. Sky is Trump. This is from a lawyer you know. It's a better. When a person says, I will not
the
reveal
person
my
tweeting
vote,
from Namibia.
the person is 99.9% Trump.
Is this lawyer based in Namibia?
Yeah. Akapam says, I should put it to you that you are Trump. He said, I put it to you.
Wait, hold on. Clement Akapam.
He said, I put it to you.
Please,
that you are Trump.
get into your emails immediately. You know what to do.
He's putting it to you that you are Trump.
Papam.
I prefer any other candidate to Trump because of his utterances. From Eric Geron, International Institute, Senya Breku. Good morning, Bernard. Let's be careful about Trump. Donald Trump's presidency was marked by several unprecedented actions and policies. Here are some notable examples: Muslim travel ban, withdrawal of the Paris climate agreement. Withdraw from, thank you. Immigration policies, environmental policies, racial tensions, you say. Bernard, I am rooting for Trump's victory because of the LGBT stuff. Okay, so that's fine.
They foisted on us.
Right. Hi, CBS. To end the Russian-Ukraine war and Israel-Hamas, Hezbollah, Iran wars, the world will be better off with Trump. Kofi,
would he actually end those wars?
No.
Because his position doesn't suggest that.
No, I think if you look at the record of all the presidents in recent memory, I mean, Trump was the one who presided over the least turbulent world. I mean, the Middle East was largely at peace. We didn't see the troubles we are seeing now, the level of killing.
But has he said that he will stop the war?
No, he said that he will stop it. He said he has the master.
I beg to differ slightly.
You go to the Europe, I mean, Russia-Ukraine situation. Although the Russians were having their problems with what do you call it, Ukraine, it did not degenerate to this level.
Maybe he would not have supported Ukraine to give them the feeling that they will be supported by the West.
Okay, here's what some foreign relations experts in the USA, I mean, those who think that what's happening there should not have happened. They take the view that but for the support that the Ukrainians receive from the US, they would have negotiated.
Yeah, so if Trump was there, he would not have supported them.
Exactly.
So they would not have gone to war.
As to embolden them to go into this level of engagement with Russia, which is leading to all kinds of chaos in the world. I think we need a safer world.
Trump in the Russia-Ukraine matter has been criticized for not helping Ukraine enough. And Ukraine only agreed to war, or Ukraine only took their position because they felt that NATO and the West would support them. And under Trump, he probably wouldn't have had that kind of support.
Those situations always evolve. The situation between Russia and Ukraine during the presidency of Trump and the personalities involved differ now.
Okay.
The situation was Trump president during a Netanyahu presidency?
No.
So the individuals you have to deal with and what they stand for, and the situations that they have to deal with back home, also move.
So it's not
the
all
kind
up
of
to
engagement.
US. It's not all
it's
up
not
to US.
simply a matter of Trump comes and immediately Israel is going to stop bombing what they are doing there simply because Trump has come. No, the nuances of the situations are different. They vary.
By the way, who Israel prefer?
That's also
that's another
question.
That's
you see,
another
because
critical
where
element.
Israel has reached, when you read what is going on and you observe what is going on, it looks like Israel has reached a point where it is not listening to anybody and wants, because if Israel goes to the point of getting their parliament to vote out the largest UN relief agency in the country to stop sending aid.
It's very serious.
Where they are not ready to listen to anybody at the moment. They are on a mission that they want to finish first.
Would they listen to a new president because of goodwill?
You see,
because he's tackling the problem from a different angle, possibly.
But that's the point I'm making to you, that it depends on the situation is fast evolving. It changes every single time.
The view that under Trump the world was more peaceful, you challenge.
No, I'm simply saying that I've not said that. I've never said that. I'm saying that the times that he was president and the times that we live in now are different.
So it could have been coincidence.
So his tactics for 8 years ago might work. Doesn't mean that those same tactics will work now, but also doesn't mean that he comes to work with the same tactics. Maybe he might come and also show you a different
even
tactic.
his picks for foreign minister
will be different.
That will be
so all those things.
Bernard, I'm rooting. Okay, so hi CB. Good morning, Bernard and team. I prefer Trump because of his stance on cryptocurrencies. He's more open-minded and more accommodating of crypto and digital finance than Kamala. This is Pa Willie from Ashaliboche.
Okay.
Good morning, CBS. In relation to the USA elections, I wish the Democrats win because their policies favor the African continent, and moreover, moreover, they have flexible immigration policies that favor travelers from Africa, say Shaq sent that. I support Trump because I believe he has the ability to bring peace to Europe and the Middle East by ending the wars. Additionally, his commitment to strong biblical and moral values resonates with me, as I think these principles are essential in addressing the moral decay in our society today. Obed Kobe.
Moral, not so much. I mean, Trump has his own flaws.
That's fine.
And I also want to mention quickly that Prime Minister Netanyahu.
I was asking, yes.
Trump was president, he was Prime Minister.
Yeah. For the 4 years?
Not that much, I don't know. Yeah,
at some point.
Bernard, Kamala represents a neoliberal agenda establishment that pushes globalism and is pro-war. Trump represents anti-war, America First agenda that is taking care of domestic issues before looking to deal with external issues. How can you have homeless veterans, degrading infrastructure, and yet be sending billions to Ukraine and Israel when Americans are not being taken care of? That is the reality. He's
the wrench that's thrown the military into the military industrial complex thwarting their plans. So it's basically saying because of his dovish stance, which is quite interesting because you say he represents a strong man and yet his foreign policy doesn't appear as hawkish, which is quite contradictory, and it's a very interesting nuance.
Yes. What do you mean? Okay,
what I'm saying is that you're saying that as a man, he's seen as the kind of man that many men want to lead them, yet he doesn't necessarily care too much for war. He prefers to say, let me go and talk and let me show my negotiation skills. So his foreign policy is a bit...
No, you see, Trump's approach, as I understand it, is one that says that, first of all, America should not be the policeman of the world, getting his noses into matters that doesn't concern it. Yeah. Because in any event, we have citizens pooling their resources together. Which resources are being taken to these areas of trouble in order to seek to cure this problem or the other? Those people occupy the streets. There are homeless people in the streets. Those people have got to be provided for. The economy is in a terrible shape. Inflation is high. Let us take steps that will reduce the burden on the people who are pooling their resources together to fund the federal government, so that you do not send these resources into spaces where you have no business sending the people. Because many, in his view, cannot even locate Ukraine on the map. So why should American resources be sent there to go and fight a battle that should not be their battle? But the reverse argument that is made by the Democrats, which some believe is plausible argument, is that the U.S. wants to sell its model of governance to the rest of the world. So it is democracy.
So he says NATO, but his point was that NATO, the Europeans are not contributing.
Yeah, that's right. He says that they should pay their fair price. And I think that, if I'm a taxpayer in the U.S., the question is, would I allow my resources to be used the way that the federal government uses them?
Let me read a few more comments now. Bernard, kindly clarify the U.S. abortion position Richard mentioned. He didn't explain it fully. The term abortion covers miscarriages and more. People are against the repealing of Roe v. Wade because it means if you have complications, the attending doctor has to prioritize the fetus and not the mother. Example, water breaks way too early, resulting in sepsis. Fetus is alive but slowly killing the mother. Doctors won't be able to do a DNC because that's technically an abortion. It puts the lives of women at risk. Plus, research has shown that abortion laws have reduced crime because women who cannot afford to have kids are able to avoid bringing them into the world. More children who become criminals. So this is just an addition to the point. Let's listen to a couple of quick voice notes. And then we will wrap this up. So when pushed, you think Kalama is winning?
When what?
If I push you to say who do you think will win?
Yes.
You think Kamala will win? If I push Sky, he thinks Trump will win.
I've not expressed my view. I'm saying that based on the polls averages I've seen, the polls suggest.
Okay, fine. Nathan, when he pushes Trump, so you say Kamala. When pushed, okay. I my view is that Trump edges it because of the point about people not speaking the truth, and the example we are seeing. So if we wake up on Friday and Trump is president, I won't be surprised at all.
Not at all.
I won't be surprised. We'll take a short break. A few interviews to do. So interesting. I'm going to do a quick interview with Koko Fusasari, who's written a book about cocoa.
Oh, okay.
Very briefly on that, he's written a book about Ghana Cocoa Board and some work.
Do you know why I get excited by things like this?
Tell me.
When there was 2 or 3 days ago, I was talking about education. Fred even made me aware of this, and somebody says when people with expertise in education are talking, why is a talking head also talking about education?
And who's the talking head?
Me, in that regard.
Oh, Charlie.
But the point I wanted to make is people think of Kweku for Sasari and think of the sports commentator.
No, he's done
economics, so PhD. If you know that I say, if you had been in the hole and you turned on your radio on Kweku, and he's talking about Kweku, somebody's going to like, now Kwawe then no Kweku wants me. You understand? And the point I just want to make is, it's great that people must understand we all have different expertise in things. The fact that we spend more time on radio doesn't mean we don't do other things.
All right.
Nobody gets up and is trained to do breakfast show.
We'll be right back. Stay with us.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show.
new book, Ghana's Cocoa Industry. And then we have a few other things to do. The 40th National Farmers Day is coming up big and strong. But, well, with Obaya, Provident Insurance, reliable WhatsApp assistant, you can buy, renew, and file claims for your vehicle anytime, anywhere, any day. Add Obaya's number 0242-426-396 to your phone contacts. Send her a hi and fill the prompts. She will assist you with everything from buying a new policy to renewing an existing one or even filing a claim. So grab your phone and chat with Obaya. With Providence Insurance, man, you are covered. And it's finally here. Your favorite Cerelac now comes in a new variant with a combined goodness of wheat and maize grains fortified with iron, vitamins, and minerals. And guess what? This new Cerelac wheat and maize comes at an affordable price of only 2 cedis per sachet. To prepare this new Cerelac wheat and milk, just add milk. In fact, the Onhiani milk. This advert is FDA approved. Join Omni Basic for their health walk this Saturday, November 16 at 5:30 a.m. at the forecourt of the State House for a morning of fitness and fun. The Omni Basic Health Walk starts from the State House through principal streets of Accra and back to the State House for aerobics and other exciting activities. Remember, it's not just a walk. There will be an exhibition with exclusive discounts on various products from our customers, and there will be fun games and refreshments as well. Call 0800 100 790. Omni Basic Bank at your service. All right, so a quick conversation with a man who we knew first as a sports, how shall I even put it, host. Of course, he has his PhD in the economics area. Most recently, he was the head of the LOC for the All Africa Games. He's come up with a new book on Ghana's cocoa industry at a time that's very difficult for cocoa, where we're having challenges with cocoa farmers dealing with galamsey. Even this morning, there was a front page story, Reuters suggesting that cocoa farmers were hoarding their beans in order to get a better price. There's also politics in there, everybody promising better. He's launching a book today on the role of the state in Ghana's cocoa industry. Good morning, Doc. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning, Bernard, and thanks for the opportunity. The lunch is actually tomorrow, not today.
Oh, wonderful. So that's a bit more time then. What on earth are you doing with cocoa and a book around Ghana's cocoa industry? I didn't know you had interest in that area at all.
Oh, okay. Everybody is asking that, but first and foremost, I'm a son of two cocoa farmers. My parents were cocoa farmers. I was born, and at the early stage, I schooled on the cocoa community. I was walking 4 miles from my village, where my dad and my mom had their cocoa farm, to another village for my class 1 education. I mean, I started in a town in a farm plains called, not a town, a village, in a farm plains called Latekrom. So I was walking from Latekrom to Somusei, and it's closer to Donkokrom and Samensha. Those who are listening who may know the geography of our farm plains. So that's how it all started. Then as I moved on, I was lucky. I must say, a mixed feeling. I lost my dad before I started schooling. So later on, I moved to my Akomufie, who did my primary school there. Then I moved to Accra for my middle school education. But the interest was still there, and it's been there all throughout. And I have seen how cocoa farmers have the work they do, the tediousness of it, the need for their welfare to be enhanced and all that. So when I got the opportunity to do my PhD at Westminster University, at that time I decided to look at the conundrum. When Rawlings was in charge as the head of state, they went to IMF and carried out some reforms. So in 1983, thereabout, Ghana was started as the poster boy of the IMF. Then in 1993, when they decided to reform the cocoa sector, Ghana decided to stand up to the IMF. Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire, Nigeria, and Cameroon produce 70% in total of the world's cocoa production. So my concern was, how was Ghana able to stand up? World Bank and IMF recommended that these countries should abolish their cocoa boards. They thought that at that time they felt the cocoa boards in these countries were a drain and contributed to fiscal deficit. And also they were arguing that it made it difficult for cocoa farmers to be paid their right prices. And so I decided to come down from London to come and really talk to cocoa farmers and find out whether they were really benefiting from the assistance of Cocoa Board and how their welfare and well-being and other related issues to their profession could be also enhanced. I was very privileged to have spoken to PV Obing, who led Ghana's delegation. I think PV and Kwesi Boche, together with others, the IMF, and told the IMF that, look, we cannot abolish Cocoa Board. So PV was telling me that they told them they couldn't abolish Cocoa Board because cocoa is was the spine of the economy, and I think it's still the spine of the economy. I will argue that. And therefore, if Cocoa Board was abolished, considering the important roles Cocoa Board was playing, or the state was playing through Cocoa Board, it will be very difficult for the country to repay the loans that were contracting. And so that is how I got involved and then decided to come out with this book. I must say, quickly add that the book is the foundation of my PhD thesis. And fortunately, after submitting it, it was selected as one of the best. We did an exhibition, we invited a lot of people. People came to my stand for me to explain all these things to them. So I felt that I should document the thing and push it forward so that posterity will come and read. And there is a need for us to properly understand the sector that has brought Ghana all these.
So is it your argument? So is it your argument in the book that despite all the challenges, we still need a strong Cocoa Board to manage the cocoa sector? Because people have criticized Cocoa Board. Some say it's a waste on our resources and all the rest of it. Based on your research, you think we still need a strong state agency overseeing cocoa affairs in the country?
Yes, I mean those who are arguing that they may call for a few reforms here and there to strengthen Cocoa Board. But I will strongly argue today and argue tomorrow and every day that we need Cocoa Board's assistance. Cocoa farmers will need Cocoa Board's assistance in many ways or in various ways. Why do I say that? The issue of quality control, I think Cocoa Board does very well from the farm gate up to, or even from when the cocoa farmer harvests the plants and harvests and dries the beans up to the port where cocoa beans are exported. The quality control measures are very, very stringent and very, very helpful. Number two, Cocoa Board has a research unit called Craig at Tafo. It was established by the colonial masters in 1938, and they do the research and advice against pests and diseases and what should be done, the issue of rolling shoot and all those things. And they've come out also with hybrid seedlings, which they are encouraging many cocoa farmers to plant. The hybrid seedlings have these two major advantages. They yield quite early, unlike the one that we know about Tete Kwashi. It takes about 7 years to yield. The hybrid takes 3 years to yield, and they're very robust to diseases. And then the issue of giving the cocoa farmers education. They have extension officers. The issue of providing seedlings. The issue of providing support and assistance in many ways. The issue of negotiating on the global market to get us better prices, the FOB prices, and all that. I think that Cocoa Board, without Cocoa Board, these small-scale farmers who are semi-illiterate, some of them are even illiterate, will not be in a position to negotiate on the global market the kind of prices that they deserve. And so if you look at, as we speak now, for instance, the major problem we have, in addition to the galamsey, as far as the industry is concerned, is the age of our cocoa farmers. The research, I found out about over 66% of our cocoa farmers are beyond 60 years. Some of them have old farms. So recently when I was refreshing the research, I realized that at the moment, for instance, the government is encouraging cocoa farmers to cut their old trees and plant new hybrid seedlings. And they are giving them, it used to be 555 or 500 thereabouts. Now the present government is offering them 1,000 seeds per tree. They're offering them free seedlings. They're offering them plantain suckers. They're offering them economic trees to be planted and all that. So without the present, the state intervention, the ordinary cocoa farmer will not bother to cut his tree and all that. So government, and then let me also state that if he had not been, for instance, the president of our time, for instance, President Rawlings at that time, and if we had gone ahead to abolish Cocoa Board, for instance, this economy would have collapsed. That's why in Chapter 5, part of it, I say that the Rawlings administration saved Ghana's economy and the cocoa industry. So in my view, Cocoa Board plays a lot of
wonderful
good roles. Because of time, I've limited myself.
Wonderful. I'm sure when the book comes out, we'll get it. So you are launching the book tomorrow. Is this a public invitation? Is everybody invited? Where is this happening?
It's happening at the Valley Beach Hotel. Dr. KK Sapon is the chairman. KK Sapon has been with the cocoa industry. He's played a tremendous role from PBC to Cocoa Board to International Cocoa Organization. He will be chairing. We have the ex-president of the country, President Kufuor, who is also a cocoa farmer. I had the privilege of interviewing him. He will be there as well. We have other dignitaries. Actually, it's for policymakers, politicians, businessmen, the media, and everybody.
Wonderful.
So it's something that, and President Kufuor has reviewed the book. Sam Jonah has also reviewed. Professor Sapon of the Agribusiness School, Legon, has also reviewed. President Kufuor, Professor Sapon said this is the first time that we've had such a primary research on the cocoa sector or on the cocoa industry. And President Kufuor, in his views, stated categorically that he thinks that it has to be a book that every Ghanaian child should read because of the importance of the cocoa industry to the Ghanaian economy.
Wonderful. Thank you. Congratulations. And we wish you a good launch. Dr. Kuku Sasari, author of a new book, Ghana's Cocoa Industry, The Role of the State, and he's launching it tomorrow at Labadi Beach Hotel. Fantastic work he's done there as part of his PhD thesis. Well, I have a big interview coming up next. Bagbara Tanko is the head of PR for Ministry of Food and Agriculture. The Farmers' Day this year is in November, and he's going to tell us why. It's the 40th edition. Usually happens in December, but this year is in November. Is there a holiday as well? Let's find out. Tanko, thanks for joining us. Good morning.
Good morning, and thanks for having me, sir.
How are you doing?
By grace, I'm doing well.
So I'm told this year the National Farmers' Day is happening in November.
Yes, please.
Why and when is this and why?
Well, we all know that being an election year, normally we'll have to either shift it forward or backwards.
Okay.
So this time in consultation with the president, he agreed that it should take place from the 4th to the 8th.
4th to the 8th of November.
It's a week-long program, and the climax will be on the 8th of November.
So it's already started?
It started. Yesterday we had the official opening for the agriculture fair and exhibition at the A4 Sunderland Park. It will continue to Friday, where we'll have the awards night and dinner.
So this Friday is 7th?
Friday is 8th.
Friday is 8th. So it's awards night and dinner on the 8th?
Yes, at Eliza Hotel.
Eliza Hotel.
Yes.
How do you select the winners?
Well, the selection criteria normally is reviewed year on. And a team is constituted, made up of university lecturers and professors. Nominations are sent in from the district level to the regional to the national, where we look at the AEA, that is Agric Extension Officer, being with the farmer, knows if indeed the farmer is doing the right and following all agriculture protocols. Then the regional director will have to verify if indeed it is so. Then the names are forwarded to the secretariat in Accra. These names are given to the team who will set off region by region, district by region. They will have an engagement with the farmers to see if indeed what is said about them in their profile is true. So normally they have a scorecard. They score them, and at the end of the selection process, then they present a report to the ministry and to the president. Having tallied the scorecards, they get the winner, the first runner-up, second runner-up in the commodity.
And then they do the same for the regions as well.
Yes.
So it's a regional level and it's a national level.
So if you were nominated for national and you couldn't make it automatically,
you fall into the region.
Fall into the region.
What is the theme for this year's celebration and why the choice of this theme?
Yes, this year we are looking at building climate resilient agriculture for sustainable food security. The choice because the early part of our planting season we experienced a dry spell which nearly threw us out of plan in terms of our food security. And if we recall, in 1982, 83, there was a bit of hunger that came as a result of bushfires which ravaged a lot of farmlands and also some bit of dry spell. So it is similar to what we are experiencing this time around. 39 years of celebrating farmers, this is occurring.
Wow.
And we think that it is a wake-up call for us as stakeholders to put our heads together and see what we can do to be food
So is this a
resilient.
dry spell or a drought?
It's described as a dry spell.
Why is it a dry spell, not a drought?
Well, the technical people say that the prolonged nature of the spell actually, if it's too long, then it sends us into a drought.
A drought. Okay, so it says okay. Now, so what are you doing about this in terms of intervention?
In terms of intervention, we've always maintained the fact that irrigation is a way to go, though it's capital intensive, but we've done so much in that area and we intend to continue. Just last week, through one of our projects, Food Systems and Resilience Project under the World Bank funding, we had to cut short for the rehabilitation of Pond Irrigation Scheme Phase 2. And if that is completed, it's going to bring on board a lot of irrigable area that will ensure that some commercial agriculture take place.
Okay.
The Tammany Irrigation Scheme is also undergoing rehabilitation. Hopefully, it will also be completed, comes on board. And then the biggest of all is the Afram Place Economic Enclave Irrigation Scheme.
Okay.
Which feasibility studies are far advanced for commencements of work. And that is also going to bring on board some large quantities of irrigable land. Besides that, our AEAs and the Agri Extension Service Directorate is on the grounds ensuring that we adhere to climate smart agriculture practices. Zero tillage is one of the recommendations they would normally give. And then you have to use drought resistant varieties. And also you need to ensure that you time your planting season. We are in collaboration with the Ghana Meteorological Agency. We have supported them through one of our projects. In fact, they indicated their challenge has to do with equipment, installations that can give them the right focus.
Okay.
And indeed, the ministry has supported them. The installations are being done across the country. Now they are being linked to the Ghana Agriculture and Agribusiness platform, where directly it can provide weather advisory services to reach our farmers directly.
Wow.
So
these are some of the interventions.
Yes, there's a
now,
few to mention.
just to be clear, so is Friday a holiday?
We have written to the Ministry of the Interior. They have the authority to declare. Just this morning, I tried reaching my colleague. Yesterday we spoke. He's indicated that they've written to the president and they are waiting for approval. So it's likely we will get a holiday for this Friday, which is the 8th, and then we will still maintain the 6th of December as the National Farmers Day holiday, and that will lead us into election.
Because you need the holiday because you are doing a celebration on Friday.
Yes.
Ideally, it's good for the holiday so that you can rally around the day.
Exactly so.
And because this year the 6th is the day before election, it may also make sense to have that day so people can prepare. So we probably get 2 holidays, but you will wait for the Interior Ministry to confirm this.
The issue is statement.
Now let's talk about the program lineup for this year's celebration. It's Friday. What are we expecting? Where is it happening?
Yes, so Friday, the climax of it, as I mentioned, will be an awards night dinner at Elisa Hotel.
Okay.
First, we are going to have the regional award categories presented. And this is going to be done by the various regional ministers. The 16 regional ministers will be there. And then the president will be joining us to present the national categories.
Nice one.
There are about 16 award categories cutting across the fisheries, crop, livestock, and the cocoa sector.
Wonderful. So that's Friday, the 8th of November.
Yes,
it's an
please.
evening program.
Yes, please.
Wonderful. Now, what should award winners expect as award prizes?
Well, we will normally review this award prizes. You know, we started with some Wellington boots and cutlass, and we think we need to improve on this. So over the period, there's been some improvement. We moved on to even ADB being the title sponsor, giving a 3-bedroom to the National Best Farmer. We've since reviewed because the farmer may have his own accommodation. Why building another one? So we are looking at award packages that will benefit the community. Award packages that will enable the farmer expand his farm enterprise and be able to create jobs. An award package that will put the farmer in a position to do some corporate social responsibilities. So ADB is bringing on board, has brought on board 1 million Ghana cedi as an award package for the National Best Farmer. Exim Bank is sponsored the first runner-up with a high horsepower tractor with all its accessories, a boom sprayer. And then Stanbic Bank is coming on board with the second runner-up award package, which is also a tractor with its accessories. So we believe that packages of this nature will actually go a long way to, as it were, expand the farm enterprise of.
So there's an agric exhibition happening between Monday and Friday.
Yes.
And this is at the ministry's enclave.
No, we've learnt our lessons last year.
So where is it?
It's at the A4 Sunderland Park.
A4 Sunderland Park, okay.
Yes, we
there's
did
an
the
exhibition there, so people can go there to see stuff.
Exactly so.
Wonderful. So thanks for coming through. So key points. Friday is a big day. Alisa Hotel is the venue. It's an evening event. The president will be there, and it's going to be a big celebration. It's very likely the Ministry of Interior will announce the holiday before the weekend, so that Friday is likely to be a holiday, but let it be confirmed first. It's also possible there could be another holiday in December. We are not sure yet. Tanko Bagbara is head of PR for the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, passing through to tell us about this year's National Farmers Day. All right, a few more things to tell you about quickly.
Yes, Latex Foam is here. They're asking you to step into their showrooms and experience quality mattresses and furniture. You need to experience the difference for yourself, and you need to sleep well. Latex Foam is your partner for life. Call them on 0302231155 or visit them online, latexfoamghana.com. If you are looking for reliable, uninterrupted electricity supply, then Deep Solar Ghana has you covered. For only 58,000 cedis, you can now go fully solar and enjoy independence from the grid. Call 059-549-4113 or visit deepsolarghana.com to find out more. Remember, your energy dependence begins when you call Deep Solar. Here's your chance to be one of the luckiest. The grand draw is happening on the 30th of November. We are giving out incredible cash prizes, but until then, we are giving away fantastic prizes every single day. Just dial *712#, follow the prompts, buy as many tickets as you can and win. The luckiest luck is everywhere and is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas Lottery platform. Now, if you're looking for litigation-free land, contact Royal Kingdom Estate. We specialize in land acquisition, construction, design, property management, and more. They are offering flexible payment terms, affordable housing ranging from 2 bedrooms, and premium finished apartments for short rentals at East Airport. Call them on 027-277-8880 or send them an email, info@Royal Kingdom Estate. Royal Kingdom Estate, building communities, nurturing dreams.
All right, coming up next is another conversation, and we've been talking about the affinity. They have a very important campaign. It's called #YourIn. It's a campaign which aims to reshape what banking means in Ghana. They're introducing fee-free transactions, instant loan alerts, and secure savings options, all through a user-friendly app which makes financial growth accessible to all. So what's inspiring this new vision? How do they plan to boost financial inclusion? And what makes the YourIn campaign so unique? And what sets Affinity apart? So I have in studio the head of marketing and growth, Irene Donati. Did I get that right?
Yeah, you got it actually Perfect.
Wonderful. And she's here with the CEO for Affinity, Abdul Jalil Hussein. Abdul, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Wonderful. So this morning we're talking about the You Are In campaign and what message Affinity wants to convey to Ghana. So Irene, tell me more about this You Are In campaign.
Yes, so there's a in Affinity.
Yeah.
And so that's how we came up with this the sense of our inclusion and financial inclusion. We want it to be really real and tangible and credible for our customers. So we launched this campaign based on our tagline, You Are in which our own customers are the protagonists of the campaign, and we tell their stories, and we show to everybody that if you are an Affinity customer, you can actually tell a success story and be included. So everybody's in.
Everybody's in. Actually, I should have asked this question earlier. This approach to banking that you're introducing, Abdul, can you tell us why Affinity chose this model and how it benefits customers?
All right. Thanks, Bernard. So I think that we've traveled a long way as a country in terms of financial institutions landscape. But it's still important to note that while financial inclusion has kind of improved dramatically in the past couple of years, there's still some inroads to be made in that area, particularly around the cost of financial services.
Okay.
So the very reason why Affinity chose to go very digitally driven is because we believe that's the fastest way to reach people. We believe that having brick and mortar and allowing people to walk in just in itself creates a barrier for everybody to walk in to get a bank account. But if you have a digital driven channel, then it's easier for anybody, wherever they are, to be able to open a bank account. So we enable that you're able to open a bank account wherever you are. But the most important thing for us is the cost of financial services, which we believe you don't have to, as a customer, pay for just keeping an account with your financial institution. So we've made a bold statement to say we are not charging you for just keeping your money with us. Actually, we benefit from it, so why charge you? So the first point was trying to reach as many people as possible. And the second point is reducing the barrier from a cost standpoint for the average Ghanaian.
Something you mentioned, instant loan alerts in the intro. What is that, and how do you determine a person's eligibility for this instant loan? What process do you get through to get this instant loan?
We provide instant loans for our existing customers. Okay. So to qualify for an instant loan, you would have to be with Affinity for at least 90 days for 3 months. And then we rely on your activity with us, your transactions with us, amongst other things, obviously your credit worthiness, and some regulatory checks we do. And based on that, we're able to pre-qualify you and determine what amount you can qualify for. And then we send you a notification, an alert with various offers, which would provide you with the tenor of the loan and interest rate. And if you are happy and then you apply for it, you get it credited into your account instantly without anything. And because we are banking with you, or you're banking with us, and we know you very well, there's no need for collateral. Because at the end of the day, collateral is a fallback. And once you know a customer very well, once you know transactions, because it becomes easier to be able to provide loans without collateral.
So how do you support entrepreneurs and small business owners who want to grow their finances?
So we have other types of loans. So the instant loans, it's one that is for very micro businesses, for stock purchases, daily, weekly stock purchases. However, at the top end, we also provide loans for slightly medium enterprise and companies as well. So we have a team that would walk you through the process. And again, it's a very quick process. We're able to assess your needs. Whether it's a working capital you need to stock for Christmas or whichever period, or you want money to buy equipment or to open another store or just to expand your business, we have the right product for you. So we have different types of products, and we can do loans up to 5 years.
Irene, tell me about how people can get involved in this campaign. It's hashtag you're in. So do we go online? Do we just come to your office? Or do we come and get T-shirts?
So we, well, obviously we are present on social media with the campaign. So we have just released the first two videos, one in English, one in Tree, because we also believe that that's part of the inclusion. We are looking into the other languages, so we really want people to be part of the conversation. And then we're gonna keep telling the stories of the customers. So we will get more and more customers involved going forward in telling them stories. Like this is really like the important thing for us. Going to what AJ was saying about the loans. Some of the customers involved in this campaign, they've been able to open their stores or to expand their stores because they were banking with us, and they will tell you the story, and we can say it publicly because they told us the story already, that they would go to another bank and they wouldn't get a loan. Like one of our customers, who's a very proud customer, is a photographer, and he said, I would go to a traditional bank and they say photographer cannot pay for a loan. And then I came to Affinity and they actually understood me, and now I have a much bigger store, and we keep working together. So.
Wonderful. So AJ, finally, what's next for Affinity? Any future services or expansions that we should look forward to?
So I think this is just a beginning. We're just getting started. So I would say that there are a lot more to come. What we really are trying to tell Ghanaians now is that we are the first financial institution to actually boldly take away all fees. Not just monthly fees on your current account, but any transaction fee. So when you transfer money from your Affinity account to any account or mobile money, you pay absolutely no fee. And that for us is in line with what we want to do, is in line with our mission as an institution. And we have really, really ambitious plans. In the medium term, we plan to reach 1.2 million Ghanaians with this, because we think that everybody deserves to bank without paying fees. And that's our medium term goal, to reach 1.2 million Ghanaians. So we're hoping everybody will join us and enjoy the free transactions, free monthly fees, and attractive interest rates on loans as well.
So you're not just getting a bank, you're joining a community. And I'm sure you know that the short code *229#, or get the app, or simply go to affinityghana.com, because with Affinity you're not just banking, you are in.
Yes.
Wonderful. So yeah, thank you, Irene.
Great.
Like the name Irene Donati and Abdul Jalil Hussein. You can call him AJ for short. Affinity is live with this fantastic campaign. Get in touch, get support. Step into the Premier League with Showmax. Catch all 380 games on your phone. No matter where you are, your favorite teams are just a tap away. For only 55 cedis, sign up to the Premier League mobile plan on showmax.com. Create your account, download the Showmax app on your phone today, and you're good to go. Showmax, it's your stadium on the move. We'll be right back with more. We'll find out who's winning. So far, voting has begun in the US, and lots of things to talk about. Stay with us.
because I don't want any powerful, state coming to push down this LGBTQ stuffs on our throat and then down our throat. Then I don't also think that Hillary is strong enough to handle the Russia-Ukraine war. I think that has a lot of implications for, the world. So that's my thoughts.
Yeah, good morning, Bernard and team. I am hoping for a Trump win. Personally, I don't like Trump, but I mean, considering what he stands for, in position to LGBT rights and abortion, I stand for it as well. I mean, if you look at Kamala and what she came to do in Ghana when she was the VIP, because she still is, but when she came to Ghana, trying to lord those LGBT stuff over us, I found it very obnoxious. So it's for only that reason. I lean towards Democrats, but I don't like her for those stands. I mean, as a foreign policy, they will push it in Ghana. At least with Trump in power, we stand a chance.
Fred Ajikum, I would like the Democrats to come to power and continue ruling in America because of Ukraine and the people and the suffering. There's the disaster that Vladimir Putin has caused the people over there. I believe Trump come to power and he's going to team up with Vladimir Putin and mess the people of Ukraine. We can't really allow people like this with their own self-interest to run the world. Trump will come and mess the world up and take African leaders as assholes and disrespect the people of Africa. In the same way, I know that some of his...
Good morning, Bernard. I believe a lot of the analysis Godfred is making is based on hearsay. Trump is never the person or the candidate anybody should be proud of. He's a convicted felon. He has filed numerous bankruptcies. He's abusive towards women. He insults his opponents on the campaign platform. He is nobody that anybody should be proud of. He's not a person anybody should be proud of. And I for one, I'm going to vote for Kamala Harris. I want Kamala to be the next president of the United States. COVID happened under Trump. A lot of Americans died under his watch. And all he could do was propagate conspiracy theories. We are saying no to Trump and go Kamala.
Bernard and team, good morning. I personally think that a lot of Africans don't like Trump because of the statement he made some years ago about Africa being a shithole. But they have not really listened to these two candidates on their policies or whatever they want to do for the U.S. I personally would choose Trump because he's clear on what he wants to do. I don't think Kamala is. Whenever you listen to a debate between the two of them or interviews, you just realize that Kamala just keeps repeating herself. She doesn't even know what she's about, to be very honest. If anybody wants to really understand why people would choose Trump or why people would choose Kamala, I'd advise they listen to the conversations.
Yeah, hello, Bernard. This is Timothy once again. You know, I've been following your conversations, and you guys are saying exactly what I'm thinking. You see, Trump is seen as a strict man, and there are a lot of things that he's trying to prevent. Excuse my language, but the current population we have in the US wants to have everything at their beck and call. And I don't want to use harsh words, but it's like the youth of these who are for Harris, they want their freedom and unnecessary things. We need someone to clamp down on some of these things. And I think Trump is the best person for this. And you know, as you are saying, the older generations know where the US came from. And so Trump is the best person for them. and not Harris, who wants their vote and who wants them to have their freedom, but at the end destroying them, they not seeing. So I will every day go for Trump. Thank you.
Good morning, Bernard and the team. In relation to the US election, I will want to see Trump win for two reasons. Number one, now the world is in turmoil, looking at the Russia-Ukraine war and then looking at what is going on in the Middle East. I believe that Trump has promised that when he comes, he will attend to these situations and bring control or bring cessation to them. So I believe that Trump would do better in handling this conflict than Kamala Harris. And then after the 4 years, he spent the 4 years, probably Kamala Harris will come and continue with the rest. And I believe then that is why I'm saying that if Trump comes, he may be able to do. I wonder how Kamala Harris will have the clout to handle the Israeli-Palestinian, Iranian issue. I prefer Trump handling those issues. And I believe he will handle it better than Kamala Harris will do. Thank you.
Charlie, be bright, brother. Improve me name, Charlie. Dance to the mic, Dion. Alright. Double be up.
The Citi Breakfast Show.
I prefer Trump because I believe he will be a better candidate, a president to bring peace around the world. The world is on the cusp of a third world war, especially considering the Russia-Ukraine war and what's happening with Israel, Iran, and Hezbollah and all that. When he was president for the first term, no new war started under him, and I believe, and he has shown commitment that he will end the wars around soon. So I personally prefer him to be, because I don't want a war. Also on the whole abortion thing, I don't know why people think he is against abortion. What he has said is that he will leave it to the states to decide. That is not the same as saying I'm going to ban abortion, but the states will have the power to decide for themselves. And I think that's as democratic as it gets. Thank you. Ni from La.
Billboard back on here 25 for car beji.
Good morning, Bernard and team. A very warm discussion here. I strongly believe that I can't wait for Trump to take the seat again, because a lot of things are in disorder, a lot of things going unprecedented. Everything that is happening under NATO right now is just not encouraging world peace. They are always choosing sides and always causing problems here and there in different countries here. And I just can't wait for Trump to come and ignore them and actually take over the seat properly and make the country, America, great again, make Ghana great or make Africa great, because he has always pushed everybody to be on their toes. He has never been pampering, begging money, begging funds here, and he doesn't pump. He makes everybody want to work, and that's the kind of leadership we need. We don't need people that will always invite people for money here and there. No, we don't need that kind of president. We need someone who is tough. In Ghana, for example, we need someone who is tough, not someone who is just going to be around and be doing everything the majority wants, or because in the name of democracy. So let's allow people, LGBT people, to come and naked themselves in the White House and take pictures. All these things, it makes me sick. We need Trump. Like the whole world needs. Like we need Trump. It's not about how he insults anybody. It's because he's just being himself. He doesn't have to be dancing to the tune of the CNN and the propaganda. Or one person. Why do everybody wants one person? It's because they see the good in him. And the world is no longer interested in good.
Dance to the mic, Dion.
All right, so now it's 9:55. So guys, we've randomly selected the audios.
The audios, yeah.
Probably
90%.
Yeah, 90% Trump.
Yeah, 90% Trump.
I am shocked.
But
okay, I won't say shocked.
No,
shock is not the right word to use. But it's slightly surprised I didn't get a lot more Kamalas.
No, you if you listened to what I was trying to describe for you earlier on when we were having this conversation. Wow. For a lot of us here, Trump fits our social and cultural narrative. So if you listen to the reasons, again, a lot of the people who spoke did not give you your textbook American reason for why Trump is good or Kamala is bad, or why Kamala is good and Trump is bad. They spoke to you about how he mirrors their cultural values. He's a strong man. He stands for ABC. It's very clear. Those things match what I believe in as an African man. So a lot of us will go that way.
So you're not surprised?
No, I'm not surprised at all.
I'm slightly...
we could do this all day.
I thought
and
you, I
if it's
thought
organic,
40-60.
No,
it's
no,
almost
no, no,
90-10.
No.
Sky, I mean, because Trump has gone through a lot of media and his own problems. Yes. I mean, he has a lot of issues. But to think that 9 out of 10 random callers in Ghana prefer him. Somebody says the world needs him.
It's not just in Ghana. If we did
African countries.
If we did this in Nigeria, it would be the same. If we did this in Kenya, it would be the same. If we did this, perhaps the only place.
What about Europe? Europe will be more Kamala.
It
depends on which country.
I don't know. Again,
it depends on which country.
But I'm just saying I can identify because our cultural values are similar.
Wow.
On this
so most African countries would say they like Trump.
A lot of them would say they like Trump, and these reasons that you've heard here would be reflected in a lot of those places.
And what about Asia?
They have very different views on some of these things.
It would be nice to check what the Chinese think about Trump versus Kamala.
Yeah. But again, ultimately,
and then maybe the Arab world, what would they think?
Ultimately,
it would be nice to know.
Ultimately, you look at I look at the impact it has for us as Africans. That's my interest, And what is clear for me, the past 2 administrations have pulled back a bit
on
from Africa.
Yeah.
So when people say, this one will do this and this one will do that, if you look at the key policies, the Africa engagement has gone down. Biden visited Angola 2 or 3 weeks ago. That was the first time he has visited the continent, even though we've had...
As president,
we've had Anthony Blinken here, we've had Janet Yellen here, we've had a couple of high-profile visitors to the continent. Kamala has been on the continent.
Been here,
Yes. Trump never visited the continent.
In his 4 years.
There was, if you remember, that was when they were doing the Agua bullying. So if you say he talks about strong business, that's when Rwanda said they were not going to do the second-hand business, and the second-hand business owners in the US went to complain to Trump, and Trump said, if Rwanda pulls out of that, he's going to punish them. And Rwanda pulled out anyway. So, it's not for us. I think the Africa agenda.
It's not it. Well, we are not waiting for the US to solve our problems. I think more people just the values.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That it's more about the values.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm not looking at just the values. I'm looking at ultimately what do we get from it. And I'm saying that
it will be a very interesting world with Trump back.
But has it gone anywhere?
No, don't get it. As president, it's a different ballgame.
Oh, of course,
It
will be a roller coaster. There's a lot of unpredictability when it comes to him. So
if the listeners of the Breakfast Show who sent voice notes overwhelmingly think Trump should win, they want Trump to win.
Yeah.
So that says a lot. Very interesting. Wow. As for me, if I were a betting man, I'll say he'll win.
Yeah, I mean, you've said, Nathan has said, who are you voting for, Hajia?
I don't have a voting.
Yeah, who do you think wins though?
I'll go for Trump.
You're going for Trump.
And that's all you need to know.
Yeah.
President Kufuor began the post. Ghana for your better aba, you hear with the vote. Now, Emma will be
10 o'clock, City Breakfast Show is over. Branch in the city next. Before that, City News with Hajia Hawa Idris will take it up.
Good morning. Coming up.